Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Your weekly dose of romance and drama has arrived. Season 29 of The Bachelor is here, and Grant Ellis, certified hottie and former day trader, is trading his day job on Wall Street for a second chance at everlasting love. New episodes drop every Monday at 8/7 Central, bringing you fresh twists in Grant's journey to find his soulmate. This self-proclaimed mama's boy is all grown up and ready to invest his heart. Will his playful charm win over the house full of hopefuls, or will the competition prove too intense? From heartfelt moments to adrenaline-pumping dates, each week brings new surprises in the mansion. Will Grant find his perfect match or end up with a broken heart? Tune in every Monday at 8/7 Central on ABC and stream on Hulu for new episodes of The Bachelor.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Yes, you are. Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
You didn't seem too positive about that. You're
ridiculous.
You're expecting like someone to come into the room and introduce you. And sitting in this chair. Yes.
Where is my fucking music?
Who do you think you are? Introduce yourself, fucker.
Sorry, I didn't hear my
Who I look
snare.
like? Jesus Christ, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Good God, do we have a wild show this week.
Yeah.
It's we're going to Australia.
Oh.
And if you've listened to Crime and Sports before, as you know, whenever we venture to Australia, it's always an adventure, as we know from Ben Cousins and a couple others. It's always somebody crazy. So this is no exception. This is one of the wilder stories we've had in terms of just a human being who's completely off the fucking rails and gone off into somewhere else. But never mind that. First, a little bit of house cleaning. Thank you folks so much for everything you do for us. Of course, this week, your iTunes reviews. If you have not done it yet, please get on there. Apple Podcasts, the purple icon. Give us 5 stars. We don't know why you have to. I don't know why, but it affects their chart positioning and things like that. And it helps us out a lot when you give us 5 stars and you write something in there. Right. We don't care what you write. Just say you're following instructions, following directions, whatever's the quickest and most convenient for you, because really it's just for business purposes.
Right.
But thank you guys who've done that so far and who plan on doing it this week. We appreciate the hell out of it. And if you want more Crime and Sports, go to shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can find everything Crime and Sports and small town murder related. You should be listening to Small Town Murder. If you're not, I don't know what you're thinking. On there, you can get all your merchandise. There's new shirts up. There's new stuff up all the time. I know right now there's a bunch of new stuff up. And more importantly, though, tickets to live shows.
Hell yeah.
All sorts of Small Town Murder live shows going until the end of the year. This week, we're going to be in Tampa and Orlando. And, toward the end of the year, in December and November, their shows are just about sold out.
Almost.
So you guys get on that. But October 19th, Phoenix, Arizona, will be at CB Live with a live Crime and Sports.
Almost sold out also, so you better fucking hurry.
And it might be right now. We haven't gotten the update since Friday. So they told us it was 90% sold out Friday. So could be sold out right now. If not, there's 10 tickets left, if anything. So if you want to see that, go get them right this instant, because they'll be gone by the end of the day.
Right.
I can guarantee you that. So do all of that stuff. And if you want to be an even bigger hero, these are the people that, they're close to our hearts. They're honestly, we can't explain to you how much this is true. They are the reason this is still a show. Well, that's the only reason.
It's true.
Is because these people like it so much and they dig into their pockets to help us out and to make it a viable thing, because otherwise it's not. But these people are our producers. You can be one of these people who we're going to gush about even more at the end of the show very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. And you can do that, and that would be greatly appreciated.
We appreciate you.
And we'll love you forever.
Yeah.
That's that. I don't know what else to say about it. But thank you so much for everybody who does that. And that does it for house cleaning.
Good.
Live show, do that. We check that off the list.
Swept it all under the rug. Now let's do this.
Let's move on to a crazy person.
Great.
This is just... I read one thing about this guy and said, well, we're doing this story.
Well,
I don't care what else is around it. And then luckily there's a lot of crazy around it that really meshed well with this one piece of behavior. Okay. But this guy is a trip, and I'm sure if you're from Australia, you know who this guy is. But if you're from America, you have no idea who this guy is, and you're going to be so happy that you do from now on. It's Todd Carney.
Okay.
You ever hear of Todd Carney?
No. But I also didn't know who Ben Cousins was, and I don't ever want to forget that man.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. You didn't know him, and this is kind of the Ben Cousins of rugby, I would say, in a way here. He's a lunatic, this guy, and we've talked about rugby a couple times. We don't understand it at all, and so one thing we always do if we're going to another country and talking about a different sport that we know nothing about, we do ask that you find our ignorance charming, because we don't know, and we're not acting like we do know. No. We're not going to tell you, he did this. We have no fucking idea what that is.
Never pretend.
So we'll let you know what we do know and don't know. Okay. So, Todd Carney, born June 2nd, 1986. So he's a young guy to be screwing up quite as much as he has. Yeah. And it's just constant with this guy. He's from Goulburn. Okay. I don't know how they would pronounce that in Australia. Goul, burn.
Goul, probably.
Goul, that's what it looks like, but who the hell knows? If it's
could be Gowl.
Gowl, that's what I mean. I have no idea. But I'm calling it Goulburn because in the U.S. it looks like Goulburn. So it's in Goulburn, New South Wales, which is a smaller town, too. It's like a 20,000 person town, kind of a little town in southeast Australia, which is where New South Wales is, if you don't know anything about the Australian states. There's 6 states in Australia: New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, South Australia, and Tasmania. Yeah. So you have those.
And then all that central shit that nobody cares about.
And then there's just the middle is
vast
At least they're smart enough not to live there.
Right.
We live in our central shit area that no one wants. We live in Phoenix, which is exactly what they don't live in. They go, that's desert. No one wants to live out there. That's terrible area.
The Bogans do.
Oh, Jesus. Oof. It's hot. The beach is that way. And then they just congregate there.
And there's water over there.
We're like, Tucson's an option. What the fuck is wrong with people in this country? Albuquerque's looking good this time of year. Right. No, it's never looking good. It's awful. Yeah. People live in Blythe, Jimmy. They live there. Their mailing address says Blythe, Arizona. Think about that.
And they
California,
all work at the Howard Johnson or a Burger King or somewhere shitty. And they just have it's a terrible existence.
People live in Gila Bend, Jimmy. They live there all the time. They don't just drive through and go, God, this place sucks, and then keep going to San Diego. They don't do that. There
used to be a bunch of
live there.
All of the jokes about Apache Junction used to be about Gila Bend. The what's the difference between a girl in Gila Bend and a pair of jeans? It's the jeans have one fly.
So it's an exchange for whatever shit town you're in. It's whatever traveling
geographical shit area.
Traveling hacky road comedian has to say about it. Hey, what's the difference?
What's the shit town here? Yeah, what is it?
You have no idea how many times as openers we've been asked by headliners or features, what's the shitty place here that everybody thinks sucks? What's that? And
you go, Apache Junction. They go, all right. And then they go up and destroy.
They destroy with their standard joke that they've plugged in with that. The only good one.
Destroy with jokes about West Hollywood.
The only good one of those I've ever heard was Kathleen Madigan has a very good one where we saw her live and she comes out and says she was in Tucson, which everybody knows is terrible, whether you're from Phoenix or anywhere else. It's the armpit of the United States. It belongs in Florida. I don't even know why it's here. Really. I mean, Arizona's bad, but it belongs in Florida. Yeah. But she comes out and she said, I was in Tucson. Anybody in Tucson? I just want to know, basically, whose dogs are these? That's a great one.
Pretty good.
That works anywhere. Shit town, dogs running loose. That works anywhere, and it's a fucking funny one. It's not cheesy. I said, good job, Kathleen. Good job. So it's Australia. That's where he's from. And we're not even going to talk about childhood or any of that shit. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about in rugby. He's a 5'8".
Okay. Me too.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is not.
That's what my license says.
No one over 5. If you're 6 foot, they're like, we're sorry, mate. It's just not going to work out.
Not this week.
Not going to work. We're sorry. You're cut. You're cut back to a different position. It's a shame when kids come up being this position. They're like, I hope I don't grow a little more.
Does that mean there's probably 8 people
sad.
on the field and he's the 5th one, whatever the fuck that means?
Well, you want the explanation of what it is?
All right.
Let's see if you can understand
it's not
this,
gonna,
Jimmy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know why I just...
Let everyone in the non-rugby world is going to be as what the fuck is us, and then everyone in the rugby world is going to laugh at us for not knowing what the hell this means. So everyone enjoy this. 5/8 or standoff.
Yep.
Is one of the positions in a rugby league football team. Wearing jersey number 6. They have to wear a special jersey?
Yeah.
Is that like
why do you wear number 6? You should wear number 5.
Is that like you can only wear 1 through 19 in the NFL if you're quarterback?
Or if you're whatever 8th you are, you have to wear the number 1 above whatever you are. So he's wearing number 6.
At least he's not a fraction.
Yeah.
At least they didn't give him like a... That's good.
5/8.
Okay, wearing jersey number 6, this player is one of the 2 halfbacks in a team partnering the scrum half.
Oh, boy.
Oh, we're back into the scrum again.
Damn it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought I was done with the scrum.
I shouldn't have asked. This is my fault.
Scrum in the taint. Oh, Jesus. I thought I was done, man.
This is all my fault.
I'm back here. Sometimes known as the pivot or second receiver. What the fuck is it? Which one is it? Yeah. It's in a traditional attacking back line. The number 1 through 7. So there's not even 8.
No.
There's 7.
What the fuck?
So why are you 5/8? Is that the attack? Is there like
I don't get it.
Is there a goalie type guy too? Is it like a hockey where they have, they don't really count the goalie as a guy?
Why is the sport so confusing?
Play the 5. Okay. Whoa. Okay. In a traditional attacking back line, play the 5/8 would receive the ball from the scrum half, who is the receiver of the ball from the dummy half or hooker following a tackle.
All right. Now you're talking.
Come on. Does that make sense to anyone? I know it does to rugby people, but this is worse than cricket.
I don't get it.
This is more complicated than cricket.
Too much. You've already got a goofy fucking ball.
Yeah.
And goofy rules for how to play it. And then you've got this instruction.
And you're begging for head injuries.
Yeah.
The other thing. This is okay. This is worse than rugby than cricket.
It really is.
I kind of figured out Australian rules football a little bit, but rugby, I don't know. Rugby looks like a playground game that you play.
It looks fun.
It looks fun as shit, but it doesn't look like something that people would bet on.
You know what? It looks fun.
I bet that group of white guys is going to pile up better than that group of white guys.
It looks fun except for nobody on that scrum. What is it? It's a field pitch?
There's a scrum
Anybody
and a field
on that
and a pitch and
area where they're playing, none of them are smiling ever.
No.
In our sports, they smile a lot.
Well, wide receiver smiles if he gets a touchdown, that sort of thing. But
baseball players smile a lot.
No, well, because that's not a physical sport.
No,
they know at the end of the day they're probably not going to have a life-altering concussion, and they're going to go to a strip club, so they're fine.
Basketball players always smile.
Oh, their life is
this fun. Shit.
This is great.
These people are furious.
I can wear shorts at work. I'm wearing shorts and sneakers at work. You know how comfortable this is? This is fucking great.
These guys, though, they're never happy.
No one's trying to take my head off.
Are they being forced? Is that what it is? The rugby league, they're being forced to play?
I believe so.
Forced to play for their freedom?
Well, not even for your freedom. I feel like as a child, if you're shown any athletic gifts at all, they just put you in it, and then you have no choice. It's like it's a national thing. It's like being drafted into the army. They're like, listen, mate, we need you.
It's your time
for the national rugby spirit of the. So you have to do it. So one more time. Sometimes known as the pivot or second receiver in a traditional attacking back line. Play the 5/8, numbers 1 through 7. Play the 5/8 would receive the ball from the scrum half, who is the first receiver of the ball from the dummy half or hooker following a tackle. Yeah. The role of the 5/8 is often to pass the ball away from the congested area around the tackle. That makes sense. Okay. They kick it out like a point guard, or like a power forward that gets a rebound and kicks it back out to a guard,
or the quarterback trying to find the wide receiver.
Yeah, but it's a congested area. Yeah. His job is get it out and clear it again, or whatever, or get it out of the mix. So. Further out along the back line to the outside backs, the centers and wingers who have more space to run with it. Yeah, you're going, that makes sense. You're starting off a play. It's like a fast break.
Got it.
Furthermore, positions and players in this position typically assume responsibility for kicking the ball for field position in general play. this is like a kicker. I don't know. The 5/8 is therefore considered one of the most important positions, often referred to as a playmaker, assuming a decision-making role on the field. So they have some sort of captainship here. So they are a little quarterbacky. Over time, however, the game has evolved. The roles of the two halves have grown more aligned and difficult to distinguish, along with other key positions, fullback, hooker, and scrum half. I don't want to be a scrum half.
Not half of one.
It sounds like an insult.
Yeah.
You scrum half? Can I even be a whole scrum? Can't even be a whole scrum, huh? All right, fine. The 5/8 makes up what's known as the team's spine, okay? I don't know there.
It's very interesting, but it's not.
And it's fucking weird.
It's confusing as shit.
Now, one book published in 1996 stated that in senior rugby league, the 5/8 and the hooker handled the ball more than any other position. Okay. So you're running with it a lot. You have it a lot. The Rugby League International Federation's laws of the game state that the standoff half or 5/8 is the way they have it in there, is to be numbered 6. However, traditionally, players' jersey numbers have varied, and in the modern Super League, each squad's players are assigned individual numbers regardless of position. Super League's another league.
Got it.
Don't worry about that later. But so it says in the rules, his number has to be 6, and then they go, however, sometimes it's not 6.
Sometimes they like to switch the shit up.
Sometimes it's just a picture of a nutsack on your back, and that's, I don't know what it is. Whatever you want. Yeah, it's a half scrum. I don't get it. So apparently, Wally Lewis was voted Australia's greatest ever 5/8 in 2008. Oh. I don't know why.
In 2008 he got it.
Yeah, I don't know if that was
but he wasn't maybe
cumulative.
Yeah.
It seems like maybe he was from the 50s.
Maybe.
It's like in 2008, they're like, Babe Ruth was the best baseball player. I'm like, all right, great.
They waited some time at least.
He's the best hitter. I don't know, whatever. So, I don't know. It's fucking weird. So, I'm clueless.
Yeah.
I guess this guy here, Todd Carney, let's call him Ben Cousins.
Yeah.
Todd Carney, I guess, primarily played in the halves, as they call it, a 5/8 or halfback, but he can also play as a fullback, which I think he played later on in his career more. I don't know if it's like you play cornerback in football, and then when you slow down a little, you move to free safety.
That's smart.
Like a Rod Woodson situation. Yeah. I don't know if that's what it is. Maybe with him, like you're not quick enough for 5. Shortstops move to third.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of those deals. So, Carney played junior rugby league for the Goulburn Stockmen, which just sounds like a union for guys who take shit off a truck.
Or livestock.
Yeah, I'm one of the Goulburn Stockmen. Don't fuck with us. You better not cross that picket line. We'll kick your goddamn ass.
We're the Stockmen.
Yeah, they're going to come at you with those Kangol hats.
Yeah.
And like swinging
the snaps to the fucking bill.
Swinging pipes and shit. I feel like those are their weapons of choice. The Goulburn Stockmen are known for their pipe swinging ways.
Knuckle dusting and
it's a pipe or a wrench. Yeah. They just have a big wrench as a weapon. You know what I mean?
They've welded bolts together.
Oh yeah,
jam their fingers
shit
through
like that. They don't even no store bought weapons. It's all just tools.
Shit that's around the garage, and they just weld it together.
I was gonna say they welded it because they're the stockmen. They're not pussies. They know how to weld. Fucking get that oxyacetylene torch out, make something new. So, we're
going to make something that they will deem illegal in a few months.
Eventually, but not now.
Right now, it's legal.
Right now, it just looks like a tool.
Till somebody dies.
Yeah, you could just work in a shop with it now. So he played his junior rugby league for the Stockmen, and then he was recruited to the Canberra Raiders. A lot of these teams have like NFL football.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah, they have a lot of those.
They got the Broncos. They got all kinds of weird shit down there.
I guess Raiders and Broncos are pretty
and
standard.
The Bears. I mean, there's that
the Bears.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's all common stuff.
Yeah,
except for Raiders doesn't seem very common. That seems like an absolute
kind of. I
definitely
guess.
Influence.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see where you could get a Raider, like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, it happens. There's Raiders, but also too, I don't think the Bears was a knockoff because you have to be an overweight, hairy gay man to play on that team. I mean, I think it's coming from a different place. Is what I'm getting at.
Do they make you prove it?
You have to be.
I could take my shirt off and show
you
them.
Take your shirt. You also have to have talent at rugby. That's the other. You have to know what a scrum is first. You can't just show it to them.
Yeah, you take your shirt off, be hairy, then blow a man, and then show rugby prowess. Yeah. Rugby prowess is third in the equation.
In that team, because you could be great at rugby, but if you don't have A and B, it doesn't matter. So let's cover A and B. And then check your rugby. Whereas other teams are going to check your rugby first And if you can blow dudes good, well, that's just an extra bonus, I guess, for you. I don't know, whatever. But
give you a signing bonus.
Yeah, it's good. Good for you. I don't know. With this team in particular, way different. So yeah, he went to the Canberra Raiders junior academy at the age of just 12.
Okay.
So before that,
so they're treating it like soccer down there.
Oh yeah, this is they'll pull you out of school. You don't need that. You don't need to know math, mate. Let's go. You're run around.
Yeah.
National security, matter of national security. So he must have played for the Stockman pre-12. So that's wild. You're playing for like an organization,
right?
That's like a professional organization,
and it's like
you're 12.
It's a man's sport. Like it's not.
Oh no, rugby's not for pussies at all. Rugby is. That's what I mean. If you're hairy and gay and suck cock, I salute you. If you play rugby too, I mean,
you are the toughest man alive. If you play rugby, also.
That's what I was getting at. I was like, how do I get to this? Yeah,
you can do that.
Salute,
Jesus.
brother, because that's insane.
Fucking terrified of you.
Yeah, you can do anything.
Strong.
You can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, you're not afraid of shit. Except vaginas, but that's a whole other issue. So
good news, and a lot of soldiers around this world don't have them.
Yeah,
so
that and also
you're gonna kick all their asses.
Yeah, also all the rugby players. Yeah. So you could never see a chick ever if you were playing rugby if you really wanted
Amazing.
to. So he played in the Jersey Flag Championship that at some point here, and Carney's team were the premier champions in 2003.
Great.
So when he's a child still, teenager here.
He's a winner.
He's a winner. The guy's a winner. And that's the thing about this guy. He's a crazy son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. That's the thing. That's there's definitely a Ben Cousins parallel here.
Okay.
Or just a lot of guys we've done where he's a good player. He gets a lot of chances because he's a good player. And we found that it seems like in England and in Australia, guys seem to get more chances the better they are.
They really do.
See, like over here, it's lately there's not as much of a sliding scale.
Yeah, they're starting to put their foot down on them now.
Whether you're a bench warmer or whether you're a star, if you get caught beating the shit out of your wife on camera, you're getting suspended.
Pretty much over.
You're getting suspended, and then after that, whatever, you can parse out whatever.
Right.
But like,
we'll get the details in, and as they escalate the details, we'll decide whether or not you're coming back.
Yeah, over there, it's like if you're a nobody, they just shit can you. But if you're somebody, the team will make a big statement saying they stand behind you, and it's just way different. I don't know. I don't know if also too it's a smaller place, so there's less people and less athletes for that matter too.
Just by statistics.
Right. Yeah, it's just there's not the same population. Look at England. There's 60 million people in England. There's 330 million people here, so they're going to have less athletes.
Right.
Period in general, so it's going to be harder to fill leagues, and you're going to need to keep whoever you have that works.
Well, England, they'll have a shitload of athletes. They're just not all good.
They'll try. They'll try.
Because they've got way too many sports over there to not
play anything.
Yeah, they'll just take anybody, and they're like, oh, that's our best one at this, I guess.
Oh no, there's dudes who look like they teach at Oxford who are out there playing cricket, and you're like, what's happening here? This is a sport?
And that's why they don't win at the Olympics a lot.
You people bet on this? You're putting money on this fucking dweeb? No.
I'd like to look at England's gold medals lately in Olympics.
I don't know.
I can't imagine it's very high.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll bet they're getting mopped up by some countries that have a very low gross domestic product. What is that?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, probably. Maybe not, though. In the Olympics, those countries, superior athletes or not, they don't have training facilities and money, and so they tend to not
I don't know.
be as good.
Throwing a cinder block around, and it's heavier than a discus, makes you be able to throw that discus a little bit easier.
It's true. That's a good point. So in 2004, he makes his National Rugby League Premiership debut. This is going to the big leagues here during the season here in 2004. He's 17 years old.
Okay.
So he's going to the bigs at 17, which right away, that's difficult.
Pretty impressive.
It's impressive, and it's also difficult. This guy's lived in this world of rugby since he was a child, like an elementary school kid. This is crazy. There's
memories.
No way you can be normal.
No.
There's no fucking way he's normal. No. Like at that point, you have to have a I don't know.
You have to have an I earned it mentality.
Yeah.
And this doesn't. How do you earn anything at 8 years old, at 10 years old,
even
at
if
11?
You're earning it with your ability, you don't realize that.
You don't know how good you
are.
Oh,
I'm special.
Right.
And so it's a
I can just do better than everyone else.
That's just how it is. Yeah. He doesn't even play that much that year, but he wins the Raiders Rookie of the Year award. Okay. So I feel like they're trying to pump him up.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be good in the future. You're the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Play harder next year. So he does that. 2005, they talk about here, he is awarded the starting position in the Junior Kangaroos annual match against Papua New Guinea.
The Junior Kangaroos.
The Junior Kangaroos.
Okay.
So I feel like this is some sort of national.
Yeah.
This is some sort of, well, I know what it is. It's some sort of national team, but like an under 21 or under 20 or some shit. However, under 19. Every country is different, but they all have these under, like England has the under 19.
Are.
Yeah, the Junior Kangaroos. Junior-roos. That's a good name for them. I'm sure that's what they call them.
I'm sure they do,
yeah.
So they call the Rooniers.
The Rooniers. I'm one of the Rooniers. I don't want to be a Roonier. So, he played against Papua New Guinea, and he had apparently tallied a record 20 points. I don't know how he did that or what he did to cause that.
Yeah.
But that sounds good.
Papua New Guinea?
Papua New Guinea. That's the you don't know where that is?
Oh, that's a team?
That's a country.
No, I mean...
They played against Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea is I thought New Guinea is the country.
Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is a country.
Got it. P-A-U.
Yeah.
Got it.
No, P-A-P-U-A.
Is that what it is?
Papua New Guinea, yeah.
Jesus Christ, I'm stupid, but I didn't.
That's where I
always thought it was just called New Guinea.
That's where they always talk about the cannibals still. They still have cannibal tribes there that are like you can't have any contact with and shit. Yeah. Papua New Guinea. Yeah.
All right, I'm super dumb.
So he wasn't eaten.
Sorry.
No, that's quite all right.
I thought we were talking about he played against a man named Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, this is Papua New Guinea. He's a big fat Italian guy, Papua New Guinea.
Well, that seems kind of racist.
Hey, how you doing? All right, let's play some rugby, huh? 1-on-1.
Me and you, kid.
1-on-1, kid. Let's go.
Get over here, you junior-roo.
I've been playing this fucking annual game for what? 42 seasons? Sal! Hey, Sally, what is it, 42 seasons? 42 seasons we've been playing this fucking game. And I'm going to kick your ass.
Sweet Christ.
So that's what's going on there. Oh, Jesus Christ. So
sorry.
20. What are you saying sorry? I'm fucking yelling at Sal, for Christ's sake. Saying sorry. I'm a mess over here. He tallied 20 points. So I guess that's good. It's a record. So good for you. They beat New Guinea. So Papua New Guinea and his whole crew. 2006 here. This is when he became kind of a star and people knew who he was. He scored 12 tries in 18 games.
Yeah.
Sometimes they talk about shit in terms of points, and sometimes it's in terms of tries. And I know
it's very nice that they give you
separate
statistics for giving a shit.
Yeah,
really giving making an attempt.
It can't be attempts because there's no way in basketball you'd be like, he put up 300 shots. So how many did he make? I don't care how many he shot. I know in hockey, shots on goal is a big deal, but still, how many you make is the more important stat.
You know how many times Phillip Rivers has failed on that last drive to win the game?
Jesus Christ!
He tried.
They do stat. How many times Michael Jordan missed the last shot, or Kobe Bryant missed the last shot? They won a game. They tried.
Should have got more wins for that.
No, well, they don't get any credit for tries. So 12 tries in 18 games, and apparently that was impressive. That's an impressive statistic here.
Yeah.
I guess him and another guy named Adam Mogg, you're going to get very fun rugby names.
Shit, yeah.
They were the Raiders' leading try scorers for 2006. So they scored more tries.
They really give a shit. They're really trying.
They win the effort award is what it is. It's just that's all you win for that, the effort award. Also, they talk about his long range kicking game has really went up into the stratosphere this year, which is good. Going on to record numerous 40-20s.
Oh.
Well,
that's only 60.
Going on to numerous 40-20s.
So 40/20?
40-20.
Oh.
40-20s.
Okay.
So is that like a...
It's not 100%. So is that a try?
Well, if 12
that's
tries...
just given 60%.
12 tries over 18 games is good, but yet you get numerous 40-20s? That seems like more than 12 18s.
Okay, so that's going to be like 40 of something and 20 of something else.
Hold on, let me get a pencil here. Okay. If we divide...
Yeah.
Okay, so... Hold on. There's a formula here that's going to work this out.
It's got to be two statistics put together, like a triple double. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
that's
I'm
what a 40-20
is. 6 times. Okay, let's do. Yeah. We got 6. Okay, 6 goes into 12 twice, so that's going to be 2.
Right.
Times 6 goes into 18 3 times. So times 3. So 2 times 3 is 6. Times the 6 that we left over from that is going to be 36. So that equals 36, and then there's 40-20. So he has 36 plus a 40-20, so 60. So he's got 96 total is what I'm getting at.
Good
here.
Enough for me.
I'm calling 96 totals for the whole year. I don't know how many 40-20s or if that just counts as one. If he had many, we could add 60, 60, 60, even more.
I don't know. I've got a baseball that says 300-300 club on it.
Shit, that's so much easier.
This has got to be something similar to that.
I feel like that's what it is. But my math, I'm not saying it's right, but it's a theory. That's all I'm saying.
I was just seeing, based on tries, that 40 he gives 40%. Sometimes he gives 20% the other second half.
You don't just cure cancer. You gotta throw some shit at the wall first and see what works and what doesn't work. You know how it goes.
It equals a try, is my point.
Yeah. Well, there's more here. Carney won 3 games in extra time off 40-meter drop goals.
Well, he needed extra time to do it.
40-meter drop.
Do it in a regular
40 meters
game.
is like that's a fucking long way. 40 meters is a long way. A football, think about that. It's huge. 40-meter drop goals?
That's pretty impressive.
Is that like a punt?
Yeah, that's like a drop kick. Yeah.
So he kicked 40-meter field
not
goals?
That far.
It's not that far.
You could do it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck
yeah. You absolutely. A rugby's like a fucking balloon. That ball's
true. It's
huge.
Big. Yeah, you could
blast that. I'll bet you could blast that fucking thing 60 yards.
I can actually kick a field goal, the regular football.
I can do it from about 35.
I can
That's
get
about
it up in the air somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I can get it from about 35 out, but 36, no go.
And with no one running at you, also is a big deal.
I need to get 11 dudes running at me and jumping up. I can't get it up that high.
No,
that
that's
fast.
not going to work.
I can get it up in the air and over that crossbar, but it'll like nip the bar at 35.
That's not bad, though. That's still pretty good. So
40 yards, I'm not fucking impressed, sir.
That's 40-meter drop goals.
Oh, meter.
One.
Whoa. That's a different story.
Well, meters, actually, meter and a yard is the same thing. I think a yard is longer, actually. A meter is...
I was thinking about...
a yard is... meters longer. Anyway, so because that's like an extra 3 inches. Anyway, so Canberra finished in the top 8 of the NRL that year, and he was again the next year selected to the Junior Kangaroos squad here, where he's appointed captain of the Junior Kangaroos.
Oh boy,
Captain Kangaroo, Junior. Junior. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He is a junior to the nth degree. Captain Kangaroo Jr. Should definitely be the name of this episode. Grace. Let's just call it now.
Oh, my God.
Let's grow Grace. I mean,
as Captain Kangaroo Jr., that's
Grace, man.
Right.
That's Grace. Because it starts to get a little bit weird from there on out. And we're going to have fun with this shit because that's pretty much all we're going to talk about with sports, because I don't know anything about the stats.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that shit. And we're not going to fucking sit here and discuss his rugby statistics because we don't know them. It would be insulting to people who like rugby, and it would be fucking super boring to people who don't know anything about rugby. So we're insulting everyone if we do that. So rather than that, let's just talk about him as an asshole, as a whole asshole, rather than just
half of it.
His sporting, outings here. December of 2006. This is when he's Captain Kangaroo and everything. So he's supposed to be doing good things here.
December of 2006.
December of 2006. Okay. This is. He is caught doing burnouts and driving at speeds of up to 100 kilometers an hour while shit-faced.
Wow.
In Goulburn.
That's like 40 miles an hour.
I think it's 60. It's 6.
It's not crazy.
No, but if you're doing...
But it's probably in a 25.
And if you're drunk and doing burnouts while you're doing it, it also becomes a little more of an issue.
A little more reckless and dangerous.
Slightly more reckless. Sure. Keep in mind here that he does all this in his hometown of Goulburn, because we'll discuss this later on. It's fucking hilarious what happens to him. him. So he does this. He's such an idiot. Apparently, this was such an egregious act of idiocy that they suspended his driver's license for 5 years for this incident.
Whoa.
This wasn't like, he did a burnout and he went a little fast up a road. He was like fucking
doing it a lot.
He was dicking around. Yeah, he was like, hey, I can tear all around the town shit-faced and no one minds because I'm Captain Kangaroo. I'm Captain Kangaroo and I'll do as I please.
He got out with like his finger on his lip and he's like, I'm Captain Kangaroo.
Don't you know who I am? Fucking Captain Kangaroo.
I'm Kangaroo, mate.
I play fucking. I beat the Papua New Guinea. I beat that old bastard. I got him. He gave me this accent.
So that's really taking it. Australia takes it serious.
Well, sort of, as we'll talk about later, because he gets to a point where he would 100% be doing 5 years in prison in America. And they're like, you be better. Come on now.
So they're taking his license for 5 years right now, though.
No, for 5, but that's just his license. They're not putting him in jail or anything like that. Yeah. Australia seems, from the way they try, whenever guys get in trouble for alcohol-related things and drug-related things, they seem like they're hard on drugs. Like, they have no sympathy for people on drugs. That's like, you're fucking, I don't know if this is true or not, but legally they don't, maybe the people do, but like legally there seems to be no sympathy for people caught with drugs. Right. No one's like, who cares? It's just drugs. Whereas here they're like, why don't you fucking legalize it and leave these people alone? And in normal places in the world where they figured that out already. Right. So, but alcohol here is like, who doesn't have a few fucking pints? And, what are we talking about here? Jesus Christ. Should we not get shit-faced in the streets? That's kind of...
That's what every holiday's built around.
Kind of our culture. Yeah. I don't know what this is, what we do here. Right. Our export is a beer that we don't even drink. But that's what everyone knows us for. Like, come on here. So, they don't seem too angry at people for being drunks, basically. Whereas here, they kind of look at drugs and alcohol are kind of looked at sort of equally, in a way. People still have a...
Getting there.
Getting there. People still definitely have a connotation.
Heroin and meth, you're kind of a dickhead.
You are. But now that, but there's a lot of people like, that have opioid addictions now where they're starting to be like, hey.
Heroin's starting to be acceptable.
I know a guy who's, he's
my cousin,
guy. He just hurt his back and now he's hooked on it. And so it's gotten a little bit more.
And he can't get pills anymore. So what do you expect him to do? Obviously, black tar's the only way to go.
It's the only way to go, obviously. We've all been there. I mean, come on. So, 2007, he takes the role of the 5'8" guy here. He earned 3 Man of the Match awards in 7 games in 2007.
Well, he's the one.
Look at that. 3 out of 7.
He's the Highlander of the match.
That's it. Man of the match. He's Captain fucking Kangaroo here. So, March of 2007, the alcohol thing comes up in court, his driving and his, general assholery. It's heard in court. A magistrate, Geraldine Beatty, said that she would have locked Carney up had he recorded just a little bit higher. I guess a high-range blood alcohol reading is 0.15 and above. It's like an extreme DUI here. But he registered a 0.145.
Oh.
So he was about 3 sips away from that. And she said because that's the cutoff, though. Yeah. She said if he was a high range, she would have locked him up for what he did, being that shit-faced. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about ZipRecruiter.
Oh, ZipRecruiter.com or the ZipRecruiter app.
It's either one, ZipRecruiter.com/crime.
Yes.
That's where you want to be. Talk about it. It's challenging. It really is. The whole thing. Job hunting, job hiring. That's the worst. To hire someone for a job because you have to trust them with your business. It's very, very hard. Nobody wants to try to find qualified candidates. They don't know what to do and they don't know how to parse them. That's how it works. But there is one place where you can go where hiring people is simple, it's fast, and it's smart. It's a place where growing businesses connect to qualified candidate. And that place is ZipRecruiter.com/crime, Jimmie. Yes. It's the best. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards, but they don't stop there. That's not all they do. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invites them to apply for your job. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one, and they spotlight the top candidates so you can never miss a great match. I'm telling you, this is phenomenal. It's like having an assistant for this. It's beautiful. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day.
Wow.
This is how you can find your people, ZipRecruiter. And right now, our listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive address, ZipRecruiter.com/crime. That's ZipRecruiter.com/crime, ZipRecruiter.com/crime. And ZipRecruiter.com/crime.
Yeah.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
And now back to the show.
That's right. So, after this, the team, they warned him.
Yeah.
They said that he was on his last chance.
Right.
And that his contract's going to be terminated if there's anything at all.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed.
No more monkeys jumping on the bed. So just chill the fuck out, and everything's going to be fine. He says that after this, he says, oh, geez, this is a wake-up call.
Yeah.
And this was what he needed. Yeah. Refreshing. I mean, he's 20 years old, so... You know,
they can drink at 18 though, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, but I mean, he's refreshed. He was like, man, that was a dark point in my life.
Real brush with death.
It was a low.
Yeah.
And, wow, I'm embarrassed of the person I was moving forward. So everything works out fine. He's now married with 5 kids. He's a pastor of a church. Thanks for listening to Crime and Sports. Yeah. No, he's not fine at all.
Okay.
Things fall apart way worse than this. So, he says that, quote, it didn't sit right in my stomach. Not the alcohol, the actual arrest. I learned that it was time to grow up and that I shouldn't take anything for granted. So these are good things to say if you follow through. He says, you can lose things very quickly. I'm on my last chance. There's no more chances. I'll be gone. Yeah. It's time to grow up quickly. It means that a lot that they kept me at the club and had faith in me. That's a big thing I have to play for, thanking them for keeping me at the club. I brought the club down and I need to repay them.
Okay.
So good for you. And he does too. May 16, 2007. I guess he has an amazing game and takes the Raiders to a win against South Sydney and wins man of the match performance.
Again.
And apparently was like the real MVP of the game, hardcore. And then 2 days later, on May 18th, he didn't sit well. He's learned his lesson, mind you. Yeah. Well, he has a little problem here. When he tries to outrun the police through the streets of a place called Bruce, the police noticed a momentary loss of traction, in quotes, and attempted to pull him over. He was making a turn and skidded out around a turn.
Okay.
It's going a little too fast around a corner, fucking around.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is they threw the lights on and he went into a dead end, hopped out of the car and fucking ran away.
Okay.
He pulled the cops, basically. Like he took off through a neighborhood.
I like this already.
Yeah, cul-de-sac. Good move here. Problem is... There's someone else in the car.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's his teammate.
Yeah.
Steve Irwin. Not the croc, not him.
What the fuck is happening?
This is what I mean. I get that you don't have a lot of people there. Maybe there's not a lot of names, but can no one else be named Steve Irwin that you're going to make famous? You can only have one Steve Irwin because you're really fucking confusing us over here. We don't know. We don't know things.
Is there a Paul Hogan going to be playing too?
Yeah, the captain of the team is Paul Hogan. He took over his spot as Captain Kangaroo when he got busted the first time. It's fucking amazing. It's amazing. And under Coach Russell Crowe.
Yes.
So it's pretty outstanding. I got to tell you, it's not bad.
God damn.
So Todd Carney's wife, Nicole Kidman, was pissed about this. She was not happy. She said,
and she's tired of being confused for that actress. It's bullshit.
She's so sick of it. Everybody is. It's very disturbing.
His cousin Hugh Jackman came out and was like, listen,
fucked,
you
man.
guys.
It's fucked, man. It's so bad. And the owner of the team, Mel Gibson, said, I will not have this.
Fuck the Jew.
I was going to say, you're not a Jew, are you? I don't mind the drinking, but you better not be a fucking drunken Jew, because then we have problems. Wow.
Well, that was fun.
Australia only has 6 names.
6 names, and one of them's an anti-Semite.
6 people, and one of them's an anti-Semite. And so, sorry, everyone else in the country named Mel Gibson. So, yeah. So, he leaves the crocodile guy in the Steve Irwin, his teammate, is sitting in the passenger seat of the car when the cops surround it, and he's like, they're like, fucking guns drawn on this guy, and he's just sitting there. And, he remained inside the vehicle and ended up cooperating with the police.
Because he's not a dickhead.
He told them it was Todd Carney driving.
Wasn't me. This idiot just started running from you guys.
They
I don't know.
Who was that? And he goes, Todd Carney? It's literally what it was.
Thanks, Judas.
Who run off? Todd Carney? Like, thanks. I hope a stingray gets in your heart someday, asshole. That's what he told him. He wished it upon him. It was all Todd Carney.
Bitten by a rattler, you fucking jerk.
Oh, my God. So, after that, the next morning, Carney turns himself into the police.
Okay.
You know, once everything settles in his system. The Raiders CEO, Simon Hawkins, hair turning silver as he says this, just silver as it comes. Quote, the Raiders are working with ACT police and now need to let the investigation take its course. Until time, both players have been suspended indefinitely and their future with their club will be determined at a later date when the publicity is not so fresh.
When you guys forget about this shit.
You know how that goes. And then later on, it'll just go it'll be on the page 8. We won't even see it. If the accusations are proved, they said they're definitely it'll probably be a certain sacking for Carney.
Oh, I'm sure.
They're going to shit can him. He's had all these off the field things and the drunk driving, and it's about enough for this guy. You know what I mean? He's been charged with drunk driving and all this type of shit. So the chief executive of the National Rugby League, David Gallup, the David Stern, Roger Goodell
of the Gallup polls,
right. He knows the pulse of what everybody's feeling, obviously, because he's polled them. He's asked everyone, literally. He said that he would continue to talk to the club as the matter unfolded. He said, quote, I spoke to the Raiders last night and again this morning. I'm comfortable with the process they're going through, and we'll wait to hear from them for further developments.
Okay.
We don't give a shit either.
Yeah.
So
we don't care.
Whatever. Fucking fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck. So June 12, 2007, he goes to court for this and pleads guilty to the charges of failing to stop when directed by police, negligent driving, and driving while disqualified because he has no fucking license.
Right.
So his attorney, a John Purnell, said he tells the court that the league that the player has been attending counseling sessions with a psychologist and a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Anybody with psych in their title. If they went to school for a couple of years for any mental health shit, he has sat in their office over the past month. That's all he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's got nothing else to do. He also handed over the lawyer several documents to Magistrate Maria Dugan that included psychiatrist reports and a document signed by every member of the Raiders board.
Wow.
Saying how much confidence they have in this young man.
All of them.
How good at rugby must he be?
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
Man of the match twice.
Yeah,
Jesus. He's a big deal.
Well, 3 times.
Yeah.
We did the math. Oh, do I have to add that 3?
I think so.
Into the 40, 20, 18, 12?
Got it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that how they
So
figure
confusing.
out? Yeah, I put this. Yeah, never mind. So
let's call Russell Crowe.
I got to carry that one. Does that? Can somebody fucking call Paul Hogan for me now? Because I feel like only he would know. Somebody call him. So. Yeah, they gave him the documents, and at this point, the judge has her decision. He says, "You, sir, may fuck off." 12-month good behavior order.
Oh, that's nice.
No jail time.
You have to be a good boy for 12 months. Isn't that what jail is?
Stop it.
Yeah.
She went, no. You stop it now.
So for 12 months, it's an order.
It's an order.
You must be good. Isn't that just...
good behavior order? And the behavior has a U in it, so it's fucking serious. They mean it over there when they say it because they put a U in it just for extra emphasis. And banned him from driving until 2012, which he was already banned until 2011 anyway. So I don't know, just an extra year of that. And 200 hours of community service. So there's that. And also the magistrate warned him. There's a lot of finger pointing going on over there, I feel like, but not a lot of
right in the chest
jail putting, but a lot of finger pointing.
Lots of sternum tapping.
Yeah, lots of you now. Sentenced him to, told him that if he were to commit another offense, he would, quote, undoubtedly go to jail.
This is how every kid named Taylor gets thrown in prison eventually.
Yeah. This is what's going on. This is
every kid named Colin.
Yeah. Australia is just your legal system is just a lot of mothers who had kids late,
right?
And they feel bad, and they want to be nice to them.
And they're like, I want to be your friend.
Yeah. Well, they had kids at like 38, so they're like, I waited this long. I'm going to be nice to it.
We're best friends, me and my
it's
kid.
It's going to go well. Not that if you had kids late, it makes you a bad parent, but it's a stereotyp. What do you want? What do you want? So he was, young parents are terrible too. They don't even know what the hell they're doing.
But they're good parents because they can't give their
parents,
kids anything.
I can't even find them.
Right.
What are you talking about?
That's why
they had lives
parents,
They had lives to lead.
They got bills to pay.
You're 26. You're like finding relationships and getting jobs and doing shit. You're not hanging out with your fucking So. At least when they're 40, that parent will never leave you the fuck alone. If you have the kid when you're 40, the kids will be like, "Will you? I don't want to play with you, Mom. No,
get out of here.
I'm done.
You are not looking through this for worms. Get out
so
now."
It's better that
my pants are down.
It's better our parents left us alone. Made us weirdos. So.
I just think that's better parenting. Just like fend for yourself, fucker.
Yeah,
don't leave the house.
So the team reaction to this, to the sentencing, what do you think it's going to be?
Team reaction, at minimum, they're going to fire him for good, right?
Fire him, suspend him, right? No, they get rid of Steve Irwin.
Right? They fired the other guy?
They fired the other guy. They kept Carney, but fired Steve.
Get out!
Yeah, they fired Steve Irwin instead, where he was like...
We clearly can't trust him.
Huh? Steve Irwin, when reached for comment, it was, what?
Huh? Steve Irwin, when reached for comment, I'm not saying another fucking... Last time I talked, I got in trouble.
I'm going to just quit rugby and find some animals, because this is ridiculous. I've had it. I'm done with this shit. I've had it. You people have driven me to the... You people won't have Steve Irwin to kick around anymore.
Steve Irwin
turned into Nixon on the spot.
Comment, I'm going out here to pick some eucalyptus to fucking bait me a koala and put it on TV. That's what I'm going to do.
And he made a jerking off gesture. With a throw up with his hands, like he pow all over you.
Skeet on your camera.
Yeah, that's right. So, Irwin has some comments about this shit. He's not going to stay quiet about this shit. He said that he lied to the police about this whole thing under the club's direction to keep Carney from getting charged with drunk driving because he was shit-faced. He said he was fucking drunk and he left. And I said, oh no, he was fine. He just ran away and he got charged with not drunk driving. He's like, because he showed up the next morning.
Right.
He goes, so I lied for him because the fucking club told me to. And then they shit canned me. He's like, what the hell is this shit?
You can't tell people that.
Well, after they shit can you, you can. Yeah. That's what I mean. He got fired and he's like, hey, fuckers.
Yeah. I took a bullet for you fucks.
I fucking lied to the cops for you. Right. And you're firing me? This is bullshit. He said that Raiders management asked him to cover up Carney's guilt. He said he was told by management to lie to police, saying he asked Carney. This is what he told police. Yeah. His story was that he asked Carney, who's obviously his license was suspended. He said that he asked Carney to take him somewhere, and then Irwin told the cops that Irwin then had a few drinks and felt like he was tipsy and didn't want to drive. So Carney was like, look, I know I don't have a license, but it's better than someone drunk driving. Give me the keys. I'm, responsible, mate.
I'm the hero here.
Yeah.
Right.
That was what he told the cops. So it looked like he was like, I was just trying to keep my mate from drunk driving. I know it's bad. I'm sorry. And Cordy could say that. But then this guy's like, no. He was just less shit-faced than me. Right. But we were both shit-faced because it was in Irwin's truck, which is the weird part. So... Okay. Ridiculous. Yeah, he said this was in reality. He asked, I guess this guy, Todd wanted to drive after a night out where they were drinking, and Irwin said that Canberra asked him to tell police that Carney was not drunk at all, which the police say they could reopen their investigation, but I don't know what they could investigate other than ask fucking Carney if he was drunk. You know what your blood alcohol level was, because we got to have that to charge you. No, you didn't do a test, so you kind of got to catch someone in the act of that. Right. You can't really get it's not a week ago, someone thought they saw you driving drunk. Doesn't really hold water. Doesn't really work. It's not like murder. No. It's not the same crime. It goes away once it's away. Yeah. Once you open the door into your house and close the door and say, I don't know what you're talking about anymore, like it went away. It's hard Poof. It's a magic crime.
Hard to walk you back to that one.
Yeah, that's what it's not. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's why he went the next morning. Mm-hmm. So the Raiders chairman here says that he aggressively denies denies these allegations. This is super silver, dude. To get someone to lie on your team to protect a better player, then shit can the less player because you don't need him, and then say fuck him.
Yeah.
This is some silver shit right here. Aggressively denied. Apparently, Carney had abandoned the car and just left him there, which is fucking hilarious. So I guess if Carney had said, or if I guess Irwin had told the cops, Carney ran away because he's shit-faced, that would have been very bad, and he would have probably did some jail time for that. So, he said he was stunned when he was, shit-canned off the team after that. He thought he would be fined a day's pay, he said. He didn't know what to do. He retired from rugby after that because he said it was hard for him to catch on anywhere, and he ended up retiring. I think he came back after a while. So we have another thing here that we'll talk about when Carney coming up pissed on a guy, but we'll talk about that. Oh, yes. This is going to be good here. So, Jesus Christ, man. Irwin said, quote, I lied to police for him and I haven't heard from him since. No, thank you at all. Nothing. He's like, this guy doesn't even appreciate it. He said that the key figures, president of the team, that type of person, told him to lie. He says that, quote, Canberra told me I had to say to police that I asked Todd to drive. That was so he would only be charged with being unlicensed and wouldn't go to jail. I was worried about Todd going to jail. They asked me to say he wasn't something, and it cuts out, and he would and that would keep him out of jail. Todd was begging me not to go to jail. Oh, he wasn't, I think, pissed is what they're getting at there. He was sending text messages saying we have to stick to our story. So afterwards, there's that. They said to say he hadn't been drinking. They were going to deduct me a day's pay for drinking while injured, and that was all. That's what the team told him. Just lie to the cops and you're fine. And he said, quote, 3 days later, I was in a cafe being sacked. I lost a contract worth $80,000. The only option Canberra gave me was to play for the feeder club, which is their minor league club. So they said, we can send you down to the minors.
For nothing.
So the team president, McIntyre, furious. He called it, quote, absolute bloody rubbish, which is the most English or Australian thing you could call it. Absolute bloody rubbish. Imagine a team president. Imagine if you just heard Green Bay Packer president, whatever, said absolute bloody rubbish to Aaron Rodgers reports that he was told to lie to the police. It'd be amazing. I would like that, actually. He says that Irwin lacks credibility and discipline. That's why he's retired from footy. Wynnum didn't want him either. So this guy went to talking shit about his football.
They hate him.
They went, fuck, man. He said, Jesus. They said, well, why would he lie? And McIntyre said, quote, because he's dirty on us. Yeah, he hates us, apparently. Jesus, Carney was unavailable for comments here. Now, the Raiders will convene a special board meeting to discuss all of this drama, which we'll talk about in a second, because him and then a teammate of his was charged, well, a teammate, not him, a teammate of his was charged with two counts of assault in a fight. So they're like, our whole team is getting arrested and this is falling apart here. So, the other guy ended up having to go to court and everything like that. They asked Carney if he had a drinking problem. They asked McIntyre, the team president, if Carney had a drinking problem, and he said, quote, that's putting it mildly. It certainly sounds like the case. Counseling is one option, but I don't want to preempt what the board and management will do. It's extremely disappointing. We were just starting to get some momentum, and now this. It's certainly a dampener. We will sit down at the board meeting and look at the situation. We're very conscious of our responsibility to the game and the club. So, the chief executive of the National Rugby League said it's difficult to comment, but there are serious allegations which are a matter for police if Irwin wished to pursue them. So I guess to be forced to lie to the police, through threat of your job, it's probably can't be legal.
Seems illegal. Yeah.
Can't imagine that's okay, no matter what your country's HR procedures are. Right. I don't imagine that's okay here. So the Canberra CEO said that Goodwin and Carney, that's the guy who got in the fight, would remain suspended while they do an investigation. He says ACT policing has concluded their investigation in regards to this weekend's incidents, and the Raiders will now begin deciding on a course of action. At this stage, both players will remain suspended by the club, and their futures will be decided by the board. So now on MySpace at the time, Todd says, quote, no evidence, no proof, lawyered. That's his statement. to the
on MySpace.
On MySpace. It was 2007.
That's his press release.
So that's his press release. His press release. No evidence, no proof. Lawyered, which is exactly what someone would say on Twitter now. So Lenny Dykstra would say that on Twitter. This guy is very Lenny Dykstra in a way.
It's quite a Trump tweet too.
It's a very Trump. Yeah, lawyered. That's it. Just one. Yeah. So 2007, Carney was the Raiders' top try scorer for the season.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's good. That's why they keep him around. Here. Now, 2008, his contract is up, and I guess there was a couple of teams bidding on him.
Yeah.
And eventually he re-signs with the Raiders until 2010 with another option for 2 years. So he's making good money too. So he's doing well. Now it comes to July 20th, 2008. And he's in, Jesus Christ, man. He's at a nightclub. And he apparently pissed on a guy.
Awesome.
At a nightclub in Canberra. Apparently he was kind of roughed up a little bit and then urinated on. And the man undertook counseling to overcome the trauma of being urinated on by a rugby player. So
he needed counseling?
He needed counseling. He apparently wasn't a bear. Wasn't one of the bears, apparently.
He now can't watch sports because he got pissed on.
There's going to be piss everywhere. This will not be the last piss-related incident that he has, by the way. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
He is causing all kinds of
havoc.
Therapy.
It's not. Wait till we get to later. He's sends so many people to therapy with his actions. He's suspended from participating in league matches, and while everything's being investigated here, and apparently it's him and his teammate Bronx Goodwin are in this, and apparently I think Bronx Goodwin roughed the guy up and Carney pissed on him is the allegations.
Got it.
That's the allegations here, so they're mulling assault charges.
Got it.
He is alleged to have urinated on a patron at the All Bar None establishment on a late Sunday evening, and Goodwin is alleged to have assaulted two men outside the club at 11:40. Different people. Where you been? Oh, I've been out front beating these guys up. I just pissed on a guy. High five. All right. What the fuck is happening? They weren't even together. Jesus Christ.
This is fantastic.
The complaint was withdrawn 2 days later. I guarantee that has to be some pressure, I bet. Anyway, complaints withdrawn and Carney remained suspended, though, for a while. The nightclub allegations sparked renewed interest in Carney's bullshit because of the whole Steve Irwin incident here. So this leads the club to imposing an ultimatum on him, which includes a 5-point plan that he has to accept to come back to play again.
All right. So he's got 5 rules.
5 rules. Yeah. Carney would have to, quote, one, stand down from training and matches for the rest of the season.
Okay.
So no more of that. 2, to go on an alcohol ban until the end of 2012. So no more drinking for a year. 3, undergo counseling. 4, complete a community service program, and pay a $20,000 fine.
Okay.
Pretty simple shit for a guy who's done all this shit. And they threatened to deregister his contract for 2 years. The league does if he does not accept this plan in order to protect the Raiders from him getting signed somewhere else. Okay. Carney says, I got a counter proposal.
Can I edit this?
He says, I agree.
Yeah.
Let's just cut 1 and 2. I'll do 3, 4, and 5.
But I got to be able to play.
And drink. 2 is no alcohol.
Right. That's the part where it's banned.
I'll go to counseling, I'll pay a fine, I'll do community service, but I'm going to play and drink, which are the 2 things that they don't want him to do the most.
Those are the problems.
Yeah, those are the main things. No playing and no drinking. The rest of it's just kind of support.
That's why they're 1 and 2.
Yeah. That's the thing. He got convicted for a crime, and they're like, okay, that's 3 years in jail, $500 fine, $300 in court costs, and he's like, tell you what, I'll pay the fine, I'll do the court costs. Deal? Nope. No. And not. Right. Or
he got arrested for molesting kids, and they're like, you're going to jail. You're going to be, when you get out in 10 years, 15 years, you're going to be a sex offender. You got probation, and you're going to have rules.
You're going to have to knock on people's doors.
How's about this?
No being around kids. You can't have jobs here. How about not 1 and 2? How about I don't tell anyone?
And I work at a daycare center.
Yeah. No jail. I don't tell anyone, and I'm allowed to be around kids. kids. What do you say? Those 3. And I'll do the rest, though. I'll go to counseling or whatever. What was the other thing? Yeah, I'll do that, too.
I'll certainly sign up. Yeah.
That's fine.
I can do that online. I'm in. Let's go.
Is there like a... You can do online counseling? Okay.
Yeah, streamline it.
Better help? Okay. So, yeah. So he... Jesus Christ, man. He asked for that, and the club says no, and suspends him. And he went, all right, suspend me then. He would take it. They ended up, the board on August 7th, 2008, sacks him and terminates his $400,000 a season contract. He's like,
what the
nope,
fuck?
I will not drink.
$400,000 is what he was making
per year. And he said,
booze is more important.
Got to drink some more.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah. So that was 2012. It was more than a year. It was not to drink till the end of the contract, basically. If you play with us, you can't drink. So he's deregistered and he's ineligible to play anywhere until 2010.
Wow.
So yeah, he tries to go to an English team, Huddersfield, on a 1-year deal, but he's unable to obtain a visa due to his drunk driving offenses.
Yeah.
England's kind of touchy with outsiders being criminals.
Right.
So it's one of those things with the tourism and shit like that. So October 8th, 2008, you think he's going to sit home. This guy should be sitting home drinking hot cocoa, trying to get his shit together and rehab his image.
Yeah.
Instead, he's being investigated by the police over a smashing of a shop window in Goulburn.
My Christ.
Yeah, this is ridiculous here. Apparently, he's arrested at a Goulburn pub in relation to an attack the previous day here. So it's Auburn Street Mobile Phone Shop. It was on there, and its front window was smashed. It was a phone zone. It was called. Yeah. Was smashed at 4:30 a.m. on a Friday night.
So it wasn't open.
I would hope not. Yeah. So he apparently he denies responsibility for breaking the door at the phone zone in Goulburn. He says the incident occurred don't go home.
Right.
Athletes, stop going home. It's like rule number 3 in the crime and sports lexicon. Stop. He says that a group of his friends went to Auburn Street there to go to a club called Flamingos, which was a nightclub. He's out drinking and partying. It's closed at 3 a.m. He says, quote, there's this kebab shop around the corner and
it's a shawarma shop.
He says, no, signs say closed. And they kick him out of there and then they break his glass. And then Shawarma Man comes through the broken glass with a machete and kills them all. That's how that would work. I think Shawarma Man would not be taking you breaking his fucking glass. Glass cost money and he would fucking chase you. He said, and I was there talking to these 2 girls for about a half an hour. All of a sudden, my mate starts punching the door. Then he started running at it. It didn't break, but it sort of collapsed.
Wow. That's
break. Glass doesn't just sort of collapse.
No.
It's not a fucking blanket.
No.
It either breaks or keeps the property of a pane of glass. There's only 2 options for glass.
Or is it just the actual frame itself? The door itself collapsed in. The glass is fine. The glass is not broken, but it collapsed.
Oh, no. Yeah, the glass collapsed, he said. So he was gone.
That's a broken glass.
That's broken glass. It didn't really break. Like he said, he didn't bust a hole through it, but it fell out of the thing.
So what he doesn't understand is that glass is treated so that it doesn't shatter now.
There you go.
Right. He's a dipshit.
But if it falls out and is in multiple pieces.
Broken glass.
It's not keeping the properties of glass, of what you want it to be as a door, probably. Especially.
Yeah, if that shit was in your car, is that broken?
Is that broken? Would you go, I don't know, the windshield just collapsed. Super weird. Now bugs hit me in the face. I don't understand. Jesus. So he said, but it sort of collapsed. He was gone by the time the cops showed up. They took statements from everyone who saw it. I didn't tell them who did it because it was my mate.
Yeah.
And who do I look like? Steve Irwin over here? I'm not fucking rad.
Right.
They asked why his friend was damaging the door, and he said, quote, I don't know. He's just a lunatic. I don't know. He's just a lunatic. He doesn't play rugby league. He's a local guy I've known from Goulburn. He plays AFL. Okay. Yeah, you're hanging out with your buddy from around some low-level rugby guy who assuredly has brain damage. I'm probably. Yeah. He's running into glass doors at 4:30 in the morning.
That behavior right there is probably why he doesn't play in the NRL.
Probably why. So the greatest part is his phone zone was a sponsor of the team that he just got cut from, which is hilarious. By the way, I love that. So
that's amazing. That's That's like somebody from the Bucks getting arrested for like kicking over a bunch of Harleys.
Yeah.
Basketball teams now have that little logo. And Milwaukee, because that's where Harleys
kicking over a cheese curd factory. So then the next night, Carney went out drinking with at a bunch of pubs again with his cousin, and that's when the cops found him. So he said he denied that he was ever anything ever happened there, and the cops end up putting him in a paddy wagon and taking him away. This is Jesus Christ. They said the Astor Hotel staff had said that he had been refused service at 9 p.m. and then he left at 10:30, 20 minutes before the police arrived. This is the next day after the door. He was already so shit-faced that he was refused service at a bar by 9 o'clock.
Oh my God.
And then he left at 10:30, and the cops picked him up at 11. He says about it, quote, "The cops pulled up alongside and told me they wanted a full statement about the door. They put me into the back of the paddy wagon and drove me to the station. From what I know, someone had called them that day and said I was around when the door was broken." So they're looking for
2 hours to get shithouse drunk enough to be breaking windows.
That's it. So that the night before it happened at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
Everybody took off.
Got it.
The next day he went back to the pubs and was shit faced by 9 o'clock. So shit faced he's refused service in Australia.
Yeah.
And then
you got to qualify.
it. And then the cops pulled up next to him and they're like, "Hey, that shit last night.
Right.
What happened there?
Let's have a talk.
Let's go." So they kept him in custody for 3 hours. There. He says, quote, "That was a pretty bad feeling after everything that's happened. Whatever I've done in the past, I've always owned up to it. It was terrible sitting there knowing I'd done nothing." I'm sure. He said that his friend then went to the police station while he was in custody to confess. He came in to go, "No, it was me. It wasn't him that broke the goddamn door." Just going to take a quick break from this show to tell you about another show. If you're a fan of this show, it's probably because you love true crime, maybe mysteries, that sort of thing. But if you're someone who has listened to all of our episodes, you've binged every true crime documentary on Netflix, but you need more. You need more true crime. You just need to check out Crime Junkie. Do that. It's named one of the best true crime podcasts by Rolling Stone. Crime Junkie covers all kinds of true crime cases, from the most notorious to stories you've never heard of before. They'll even make you think twice about cases you thought you were sure about. There's over 85 episodes, so you can go and binge.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
He later told police too, and he was Carney was released without charge at 2:30 a.m. when he backed up his friend's story, and he told detectives that he's about to go to Rwanda to rugby, and so they're helping out an orphanage there. Him and a bunch of other rugby players are going to do a charity thing to build an orphanage, and police gave him permission to leave Australia, and he left. So, 2009, Carney applies back to the NRL because he wants to play for an Australian club in 2009. But the NRL stated, quote, they would not accept registration of a contract for Todd Carney that season. So they told him to fuck off and eat dicks. 2009, he has a problem. He's in Goulburn again.
Yeah.
Going home.
They always start there, those problems.
And he jumped on a bunch of cars and fucked up a bunch of car trunks and hoods. He was just jumping on top of cars, smashing in their hoods.
Like jumping up and down like monkeys on the bed.
Like on in-betweeners. Fucking football friend. If you're English, you'll probably know that. But otherwise, that's what he's doing. Like just smashing, jumping up and down on people's hoods and shit.
What a dick.
Breaking cars like a fucking asshole. So he's charged by police with malicious damage. And he was captured on closed-circuit television cameras jumping up and down on several cars in Goulburn. So Carney here and another man were arrested and charged and will appear in court next month. Police viewed the security footage before making arrest. Because they're like, Todd Carney was jumping on car hoods, and the cops are like, get the fuck out of here.
No way.
He's in trouble enough. He doesn't need any more. Let's see the security tapes. Oh, look at that. It's Todd Carney jumping up and down.
Look at that.
We're not so... Captain Kangaroo himself. Look at that. He's jumping around like what? Like a what, Jimmy?
Goddamn.
That's right.
Kangaroo.
That's right. He's living up to his name.
He's a ruinier.
This is amazing. Yeah. So he is definitely a ruinier.
Ruin your car.
Ruin your car, bitches. So the judge says, you, sir, may fuck off. 12-month suspended sentence.
Wow.
So no jail again, and he's ordered to undertake alcohol counseling.
Now.
I would say.
By the courts.
But by now he's court ordered again to do this. In March 2009, the Raiders agreed to release Carney so he can play for the Atherton Roosters. In far north Queensland, which sounds terrible. This is good because he needs to get out of town because on March 10th, 2009, he is banned from Goulburn.
Not allowed to be in the town.
It's his hometown. They kick him out of his hometown. This is some Old West shit.
That is awesome. He's been banished.
He's sentenced to get the hell out of town by sundown. This is awesome. Imagine if you were just not allowed to, you must leave Phoenix, Jimmy, you're gone. You weren't even born here. Or if I was just, it's crazy.
Did Marcellus Wallace kick him out?
This is what it is, yeah. It seriously is.
There ain't no me and you.
Nope.
Get the fuck out of town and don't come back.
He, after this, this was at the Goulburn Workers Club is where he was jumping up and down on cars. He's ordered by a magistrate to stay away from the area for 12 months. 12 months he's banned from Goulburn. He's like, I'm sorry, Goulburn.
Yeah.
Every time you're here, you're in front of me. You're here. So, this is amazing. He's also given a 12-month suspended jail sentence and placed on a good behavior bond after pleading guilty to separate charges of intentionally or recklessly destroying property and destroying or damaging property relating to the glass door incident also that he was involved in there and all that kind of shit. The magistrate, it was Geraldine Beatty, who was the one that shook her finger at him and said, you'll undoubtedly be locked up. She didn't lock him up.
No.
She didn't do shit. She said that she told him it was in his best interest to stay away from the city.
Yeah.
And you're banned for 12 months. Also bans him from the Goulburn local government area. This guy's got to get a map out to figure out where he's allowed to be. You understand that? You want to go here? I can't go to that restaurant. It's inside the Goulburn local government area. I'm not allowed. Literally. I'm banned from this shit. That's amazing. He's also ordered to undergo counseling, which he should just... He's on a standing order.
Yeah.
Just keep going to counseling.
Don't stop until
we tell you.
Yeah.
Just keep going until we tell you not to anymore.
Enough.
Yeah.
We'll tell you when.
It's not for a while. Yeah. I'll just let you in on that one. So the court also confirmed that he faced jail if he returned to Goulburn within the next 12 months. So he will be jailed on site in this town of Goulburn.
Yeah.
This means he's unable to visit his mother and he's not allowed at his mom's house. Court ordered.
He's allowed to visit his mom as long as she's out of there.
Yeah, he's going to stand at the edge of town and just wave. No, come on, Mom, visit me out here. And most of his friends are there. He's just not allowed to go there. Jesus Christ. A police source says he's free to drive through Goulburn.
Yeah.
This is getting complicated now. Free to drive through Goulburn, but he would be arrested if he got out of the car. So make sure you're gassed up before you drive through Goulburn, because I'd just avoid it. What if your car broke down?
Drinks? Yeah.
You're
what
fucked.
if?
Yeah.
What if you get a flat tire?
That's what I mean. Or you need gas, something. You want something to eat, but they called that this was a highly unusual condition. This is not a normal thing in Australia.
I'm
apparently
sure it's not.
At first, I'm like, they must just ban people from towns, and then they talk about how this isn't normal, and it's kind of creative. They just said, you're such an idiot. We just don't want you here anymore. They said a breach of the highly unusual condition could result in Carney appearing before a magistrate with the prospect of serving the full 12-month jail sentence. Yes, he was in court, but then he was due to move to Cairns?
Cairns?
Cairns.
Oh, okay.
Cairns?
Cairns?
I don't know. He was cleared to play up there, so he was moving anyway. He stayed at his mother's house that night and then will fly to Cairns the next day.
Okay.
And he'd originally been scheduled to go later, but they said, no, you have to leave now. So he got on a plane.
Listen, we've all talked it over. We've had a good chat. You know, there are a few people that want you to stay, but they all know you.
They all know you.
Everybody else has heard of you, and we would like you to get the fuck out.
She points to the door. He turns around. All his bags are laying there packed. We've taken the
liberty
packing all your stuff.
We'd just like you to go.
There's a U-Haul truck out there.
Just put it
Get
all
your
in there.
shit and go, because we don't want you. So, as part of his Atherton Roosters deal, it's a month-by-month contract in case he's given permission to join the NRL club later on. Carney is working behind the bar in a pub owned by the club's president.
Okay.
So if you have this guy on your team, do you want to assign him to be in a fucking pub every night? Is that what you're doing?
Well, I mean,
how stupid is that?
He's not allowed to play. He may as well.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So May 10th, 2009, Carney is assaulted by 4 men in Atherton. So it was right after he goes up there. One of the men was a former fucking rugby player named Nick Sliney. So we get 4 guys. One of them, he apparently was another player. Now, Carney's also arrested, but later released without charge. Carney, his lawyer says his agent says that Carney was an innocent party. He said, quote, if you get jumped from behind by 4 blokes, it's not like you are an instigator.
He's got a point.
Yeah, he says that Carney is a bit rattled, but he's okay. He said that Carney has a target on his head when he goes out, but that his client was happy overall by the way he's been accepted by the new town.
He should know that.
He should know they shouldn't go out.
Right.
He says, quote, he's going well, he's working hard, he's just disappointed that he's been whacked, but that's life. Yeah. The 4 guys were ages 19, 21, 25, and 23. And they were charged with public nuisance there. So Carney had initially asked that no charges be filed because he's a fucking rugby player. Right. He's like, don't fire him. I'll get in a fight soon. And karma will come back, hopefully, and they won't file him on me. So the Atherton Roosters president, Mick Nasser, who is owns the Barron Valley Hotel, which he tends bar at.
Dundee's first name?
Jesus Christ.
Mick?
Yeah, Mick. That's right. Everyone. There's very few names over there.
Unbelievable.
Very few names. It's very limited. He said that this guy said he had no problem with Carney being out at 3 a.m. Despite his history. He says, quote, he wasn't drunk. He just had a few drinks.
Jesus.
Which never leads to being drunk.
Right.
And it's the only time he's had a drink after games. Otherwise, he's working hard or training or doing junior development around the area. Look, he's the innocent victim in this. He was at a 21st birthday party, I assume. Some bloke on the drink provoked him. He walked away from it, didn't want a bar of it, and they followed him down the road and bashed him. He didn't even want to press charges. He didn't want it in the papers. He said that Carney was more embarrassed by the thing or anything, and he didn't want any of the teams to think of this as like, oh, he's getting in brawls out in pubs, basically. He said most of the people up here are really good to him, but unfortunately all it takes is a couple of idiots to spoil it, which is true.
He's got a good point.
Speaking of idiots, December 31st, 2009, which is New Year's Eve, obviously. Carney, acting in, I would say, idiot fashion, he sets a man's pants on fire.
What the fuck?
Injuring the man, suffering burns to his buttocks, scrotum,
oh my God,
and upper thighs.
Good Lord.
So he burned his scrum. Now he's a half scrum. After apparently it was a holiday party, obviously, in Airlie Beach in Queensland, and apparently many people saw this Carney set this man on fire, set his pants on fire.
Hilarious.
Which is so funny at a party. That's what you want. The police, though, the man said he wants to make no formal complaint. He doesn't want any part of it. He just doesn't want to know anything. And so the police decide not to investigate because the victim doesn't care. So they don't even bother. But everybody saw it. And this was just after he signs a contract with the Sydney Roosters, which is the big club there. And the club had just handed him a 3-year deal. And he does that, which is amazing. So
they sack him for it?
No.
He's gone?
No, because the police didn't investigate.
Okay.
That's what I mean. I feel like this guy was told, hey, someone gave him a few bucks and shut him up, or whatever the fucking deal is. This guy didn't go to the cops.
How much your scrot worth?
Yeah, what's half your scrum worth, pal? Jesus Christ here. So, it's reported on the news and everything that he deliberately set a man's pants on fire and all that kind of shit here. A spokeswoman for the Queensland police said the man had went to the hospital for treatment for burns, but no official complaint had been received by the police. The Roosters said they only found out about the allegations afterwards, and they didn't even talk to Carney about it. They said so. I mean, and then when they do, they'll be like, so his pants are on fire, eh? All right, then. Get on out there. Let's go.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
Was he a lawyer? Is that what happened?
No.
He was lawyering? So he's a lawyer, and his pants were on fire.
What was the questioning leading up to this? Did you ask him, would you like your pants on fire? And he said no, and you said, liar, poof. And then it was a double. Did it work double?
Right.
So 2010-11 here. His ban is expired. He's on the Roosters, the Sydney Roosters, and he has a great fucking year.
Yeah, of course.
After all this. 2010 Dally M Awards.
Yeah.
He won the Dally M Medal, which is for Player of the Year.
Okay.
Wins the Dally M Award for the Provon Summons Medal, which is the People's Choice Award. Wins the award for Best 5'8". Which is an award you've been going for 20 years.
20 years. 38. We had 20.
Well, since 20. You've been that height,
I just remembered that.
And also the Rugby League International Federation International Player of the Year Award.
Wow.
So he's the greatest player in rugby this year after being a complete fucking idiot. Not too bad. June 2010, though, police see a friend of his, a guy named Jake Friend, hand a pill to Carney somewhere. That's his name, Jake Friend.
That's a friend of his?
It's a friend of his. I mean, there's not a lot of names. It's white guy first name, 6 different last names.
Fucking amazing.
It's wild.
His nemesis, John Nemesis.
His nemesis, Jonathan Enemy. I don't know what's happening here.
This is ridiculous.
It's so stupid.
His friend, Mr. Friend.
Mr. Friend. Police allegedly see this guy hand a pill to Carney. Hand him over a pill. Officers search them. They find a bag with 7 Valiums on the friend. No pills were found on Carney. He's released charges, but friend made some new friends in jail, unfortunately for him. So,
oh fuck! At the end of this story, if Carney doesn't work for the circus, I'm going to be furious.
Well, he does something that could be a circus trick that we'll talk about very soon. That you're going to go, is he in the circus? 2000.
This is unbelievable.
So, no pills were found on Carney here, and he's released without charges. So I don't know if he fucking keistered it or what, but whatever. So December 2010. It is reported that Carney injured himself falling from his balcony while trying to gain entry to his building after he locked himself out. Doesn't suffer anything serious enough to affect his rugby, but hurts himself because he fell from a goddamn balcony because he's an idiot. How much you want to bet he was drunk?
Yeah.
Locked himself out, then fell off a balcony? That sounds like drunk behavior.
That's a drunk guy thing.
That's a drunk guy 1 and 2 right there. So at this point, Carney is dating the 7 Network television presenter, which is like one of their TV channels, 7 Network. And I've seen this. She just does like all sorts of, she's like a news lady, kind of entertainment, whatever. Liz Cantor, blonde chick on the news, whatever. Okay. This relationship, they're together for a little while until January 2011 when they break up publicly. Yeah. So they're together like 2 months.
It's a public breakup too?
Well, they were a public couple. And in Australia, there's not that many people, like I said. So people are hooking up. They're like, holy shit, they're hooking up. They've been trying to get Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman together for the last 30 years. Yeah. Do you understand? We need royalty. We need something. England has these bald fucks over there. They get to be fucking.
I mean, they got Kidman
royalty.
And Keith Urban together. Keith Urban's
Jesus
Australian,
Christ.
right?
I don't fucking
I think
know
he
what
is.
Keith Urban is.
I don't know. I just know he was a homeless meth addict, and then he learned how to pick a guitar.
That seems right. So he should have hooked up with Jewel. That seems like her origin story as well.
If not, her teeth look like
together. She's awful. So. February 26, 2011, Carney is arrested and will receive a low-range drink driving charge. That's below 0.15. The Sydney Roosters say they will stand by him through this. Yeah. Because this is aberrant behavior, obviously. Right. This is not like this happens all the time. He broke down in tears after his arrest and had a series of crisis talks with his manager, mother, and Roosters officials, and they stopped him from quitting rugby because he was so upset. He says, when something like this happens, it just feels too hard. I knew I had let the club down, and the thought of quitting crossed my mind. I was filthy with myself and upset, and I didn't know if I could go on. I was on my way to breakfast with my finance guy, just to go over a couple of things. I just got up, showered, did all the things I normally do, and got in the car and left. On the way there, on Coogee Bay Road, the police pulled me over. I had no idea I was over the limit and was more worried whether or not I had my P plates on. I have no idea what that is, but I don't care.
Okay.
So he
didn't know he was over the limit.
How drunk was he the night before?
Right.
If he fell asleep, woke up,
got in the car and
took a shower, drove to go meet his finance guy for breakfast.
He went and ate.
And he's fucking shit-faced. Yeah. Like, how much...
Did he get pulled over before he ate?
No, before he ate.
Okay.
But the hours have gone by.
Yeah.
Like, how drunk were you? Imagine if he got pulled over at 5 a.m. He blew a 0.52, so not that high at all. It's a low thing. He was given a low range drink driving charge here. He called his manager and told him he wanted to quit the game. He said, quote, I just lost my stomach when he said I had to go down to the station. But talking about what the police told him. I couldn't believe it. I was shattered and I knew I had lost a lot of respect from people. I thought about quitting, but it would have been the easy option to walk away. And so he had a bunch of meetings, like I said, and he had his teammate pick up his car. And
I mean, really, all you got to quit is drinking.
That's it. Stop drinking. Everyone will be like, hey, look at you. Good job.
Congratulations. Woo. That's all you got to walk away from.
That's it.
It's not.
Nope.
You got to walk away from the game. The game's not
just
fucking
stop
making
drinking,
you drink.
stupid. He said that his manager said that Carney told me he wanted to retire. He was filthy on himself for letting people down and upset with what he'd done. It all seemed too much, but then he put it all in perspective. At the end of the day, he knows he just made a mistake and he's ready to make up for it. So, this is after his many, many problems. Mm-hmm. He says that he stayed clear of alcohol for the last year, but reportedly fell off the wagon, and the Australian team did a Four Nations campaign. And, you go if you go overseas with the Australian rugby team, you're drinking, period. So, he said he had a heart-to-heart with his mother, and he once again vowed to steer clear of booze. No more booze.
Okay.
He says, quote, I spoke to Mom, and she said all my problems came from that. She should be on this show.
Yeah.
We invite you, Mrs. Carney, onto the show. Mrs. Gilreatha, yeah. She told him to stop fucking around.
Oh, she did.
She's not going to win. Yeah. She said all my problems come from that. She pointed out what a good year I had when I wasn't drinking and told me to keep off it. This is the wake up call I needed.
Yeah.
So her mom is actually the one. His mom is the one being smart. He pleaded with fans here. He says that this would be a one-off incident. He said, quote, "This isn't fun for anyone. I know I've done the wrong thing, and I hope people can forgive me. I hope they realize I made a mistake here." And the Roosters chairman vowed to stand by him. They said, quote, "We've got to support him, but it's up to him. He's got to say has a problem. He can't keep coming up with excuses. We're disappointed, but it's happened now. We can't condone DUI in any way, and we'll work with him on that. He is a kid, and has worked extremely hard to make up for what he's done in the past, and he's taken a lot of steps forward. Unfortunately, he's let a lot of people down, but we will continue. We'll treat the situation on its merits, not on his past." I think he's earned that. What do you think he's earned?
Nothing.
Probably not a lot.
DUIs. He's certainly earned those.
Plenty of those. Yeah. A month later, he's found to be involved with hanging out with an old teammate out drinking on April 16th, 2011. Yeah. That's the second incident in 3 months, and the management told him that he is suspended indefinitely now. So they went from standing by him, and then he fucked up, and they went, "Okay, fuck you now. You're suspended." He is required to receive treatment for his behavioral issues. Stop drinking.
Yeah.
That's
it.
Hey, stop it. That's
no more.
We can fucking do this.
You
easy.
know where the problem is.
Yes, I would say so. Man, in August 2011, though, a guy named Nate Miles and a Frank Paul Nuasala, Nuuausala.
No, you don't get to do that.
That's 3 U's out of the first fucking
5 letters,
6 letters of the word. 5 letters. Yeah, that's too many. I guess these 3 guys broke a team agreement not to touch alcohol, and all 3 players were subject to disciplinary hearings. And September 8th, 2001, it's announced that the Roosters will release Carney from the final year of his contract following a request from his management. He is denied a visa to gain access to the UK due to his criminal convictions, and his management's reportedly considering a contract with a French-based Super League team, the Catalans Dragons. So, yeah. By mid 2011, there's all sorts of other rumors about where he's going to go. And finally, October 2011, he announces he's accepted a 2-year contract with the Cronulla Sharks to be worth $700,000. So it's the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, which sounds like a dairy company.
Yeah, it does.
Cronulla Sutherland,
or it sounds like Kiefer's daughter.
Yeah, one of the. This is my little girl, Cronulla Sutherland. Cronulla Sutherland sounds like a dairy company.
It's a very LA girl name.
It sort of is, yeah. It's weird. So June 2012, he starts dating water skier turned boxer Lauren Eagle, who's a blonde chick. She doesn't look like a boxer. She's pretty thin, and it's weird. I could see her water skiing, I guess. Is water skiing a fucking job?
It's a sport, isn't it?
It's not a profession, I don't think.
It's not.
Can you make money water skiing?
I think you can. Not a lot, but I'm sure some.
Well, there's a water skiing circuit out there I don't know about.
Shit, yeah. Haven't you seen those, like, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. If John Candy can accidentally do it,
yeah, I guess.
It's probably not really a sport.
They have, like, those old-timey, like the
pyramids?
The pyramids.
From
like
the 50s, though.
Vacation video from the 80s, That's what I mean, in the 50s, but it wasn't like, I don't think they do those pier shows anymore.
I used to watch when I was a kid. I remember watching people do
on ESPN?
Yeah, on ESPN, do the jumping and shit. So it has to be a thing.
It can't be.
But those, never mind. I don't know, man. It's very strange.
So 2012 is his first year at Cronulla, and it was good. He helped them get all the way to the finals, and they're beat by the Raiders in the qualifying finals. Though. So yeah, he is selected to represent New South Wales in the annual State of Origin series.
That's a big deal.
Playing at the 5/8 position, is it? It is. It's a series. It's an annual best of 3 rugby league matches with, you're saying yes, like these things.
I know what it is. It's a big deal. It's
a big deal, but not the details of it.
I know that it's the Aboriginal teams versus the not Aboriginals, right?
I don't know about that.
I think that's true. It's the origin game.
Between two Australian state representative sides, the New South Wales Blues and the Queensland Maroons.
Okay.
So I think it's just regional.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's a color thing. But I really hope it's not.
There is an Aboriginal game, too, and I don't know
I really hope these dudes don't get liquored up and go beat the shit out of Aboriginal players on the field. Like, I really hope that doesn't happen.
I don't know.
I don't want to watch that.
I swear Aboriginals are involved in this.
It's one of Australia's premier sporting events, attracting huge television audiences and selling out the stadiums pretty quickly, they say.
It's a big goddamn deal.
It's a big fucking deal. Players are selected to represent the Australian state in which they played their first senior rugby league game.
Oh.
It's not even where you're from. It's where you played to begin with.
That's where you started.
He spent the off season here.
Hence the origins.
The origins makes sense now. That's good. And he's his first comeback. He's coming off of a torn Achilles.
Oh.
He tore an Achilles last year, and he's healing that up here. 2013, he wins the award, the Dally M Award for Best 5'8" again.
Hell yeah.
Okay, 2014. It really unravels here. All right, here it is, guys. This is buckle the fuck up.
Yeah.
2014, he receives criticism after he's pictured with a woman who's a convicted drug smuggler when he's on a holiday in Bali.
What?
It's a woman. I don't mind this lady. It's a woman named Chappelle Corby and her sister Michelle. The Chappelle lady who'd just been released from a prison in Bali after serving 9 years for trying to smuggle in 4.2 kilos of weed.
Oh.
Like, come on.
What the fuck?
That's fucking weed.
Kilos of weed.
That's a lot of weed.
That's a lot of weed.
That's a lot of weed.
Jesus,
well, 2.2 pounds is a kilo, so that's a lot of fucking weed. So 10 pounds of weed, basically.
Wow.
It's a lot of weed.
Wow.
It's a good amount of weed.
Yeah.
You're not putting that in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't have that like in her carry-on.
Right.
That shit was...
She didn't even have that just tucked under her arm.
No.
10 pounds of weed doesn't weigh a lot.
That shit. No. And even compressed, even like the shitty old like Mexican brick weed, a quarter pound is like a fucking.
That's a lot.
It's a brick that you need.
It's a legit brick.
Yeah, so it's but fluffy, decent weed.
That's a lot.
That's a shitload.
Oh, God,
truck for that shit.
Yeah.
So now that's happened then. So people are breaking his balls about because he posts on social media. He's huge on Instagram and posting all sorts of shit.
Of course he is. He's a
Twitter.
millennial.
Yeah, so he's posting everything on social media. All of his dipshittery ends up on social media, which gets him in trouble.
Yeah.
Gets him in the most trouble on June 29th, 2014.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this, Jimmy.
Okay.
This is a first. Rarely on Crime and Sports do we have a first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is episode 169.
It's hard to surprise us now.
Hard to shock us now.
Yeah.
It really is. You got to have something huge up your ass or something like that. Because we've had Ben Cousins had like 3 grams of meth up his ass, which is a stretch. That's a good one.
And more than once.
In more ways than one.
And he did it more than once.
And he did it more than once. That's how he rolls.
They already know to look there, you idiot.
We've had crazy crimes that are just silly and ridiculous. We've had Chris Adams trying to attack a pilot while the fucking flight's in flight. We've had wild shit here. We've never quite had this before. Todd is photographed and it's put on social media afterwards, so everybody sees it. In the bath. Jesus Christ, I don't even know how to talk about this. In the bathroom of a nightclub, standing at the urinal, pissing into his own mouth.
What?
Okay.
What? Hold on. He's pissing on everybody, including himself.
Just his mouth. He's pissing. He's leaned over.
Yeah.
He has his dick up.
Yeah.
And he's pissing. He's holding his dick up and he's shooting the stream
straight into his mouth.
Into his own mouth.
Oh, boy.
And this is on social media.
So he doesn't have his head tipped back catching it.
No.
He's just shooting full stream right like a super soaker right in the face.
When I read this at first, I just heard social media pictures of him pissing in his mouth.
Yeah.
I want to know if you pictured this. I pictured him laying down, kind of putting his hips up in the air, so his dick's kind of above him anyway, and then pissing into his mouth that way.
I saw.
Or laying flat and getting some crazy arc stream that somehow it's like a party trick. Like, look at this. No one else has this accuracy of urine. And that's what I pictured.
I saw him Steve-Oing and standing at a urinal with his head back and getting a ridiculous arch into that.
Yeah, no, he's hunched over.
But that would get it like in your eyes and stuff too.
Oh yeah, he's just firing this shit right into his face. And the look on his face, because he's like hunched over, it's like he's been in the desert for 3 days and he finally got to a drinking fountain.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. He's like, oh my God, I need it, and it's piss, his own piss in his mouth. So I don't even know what to say about that. So obviously this needs an explanation of why you're first of all, why are you pissing in your mouth? Second of all, why are you like, get this?
Right. Somebody
get the camera ready. You don't get a selfie of that. I'll tell you that much right now.
Do you stop in the middle? He already knows he can do this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Well, he explains it. This is the end explanation. This is in 2019. He appears on a podcast and talks about it, but there's a lot in between here and there. And he says that basically that he calls it the bubbler.
Ew.
This is a common thing in Australia, by the way.
Really?
We'll talk about it. We'll get into the culturalness of this, but this is people do this shit there, and it's not.
It's like the shoey?
It's not uncommon.
Oh, my God.
Carney says that his bubbler act had been performed by another teammate, Bryce Gibbs. Carney claimed the bubbler became part of celebrations after each win. Gee, I sure hope we win so I can piss in my mouth.
Why is that the celebration?
Yay!
Now I know why he drinks so
punishment.
much.
To get the taste of piss out of his mouth, because it's better than that.
Good Christ.
Wow. He also claims that former Cronulla boss Steve Noyce was among the club officials to witness Gibbs do the bubbler, and said that he did not balk at it before the publicly circulated photo of Carney made headlines and all of that. Carney stated that Noyce only made an issue of the act because the photograph became public. And he says, Jesus Christ. At that point, the Sharks released a statement saying that they're releasing him from his contract. The piss picture's too much for them.
It's not bubbler.
The bubbler. No good. It was his last warning for behavioral issues.
Jesus.
The NRL's CEO or COO said, quote, I would be surprised if any club would show interest in signing him, considering his checkered history. And even if they did, it was unlikely the NRL would agree to register him. So, the club said, the Sharks here, the Cronulla Shark Football Club has today, after careful consideration and lengthy deliberation, including discussions with senior management, made a discussion to terminate Todd Carney's contract effective immediately. We think it's weird that he has piss in his mouth in a public place. So, they told him that his responsibilities were made well aware to him, both on and off the field, when they signed him. And they said the photograph appeared on social media, does not meet the values and standards the club is looking to uphold and take into the future. Yeah. He's like, you didn't specifically say I couldn't piss in my mouth in public. That would never happen.
It's not written anywhere.
Yeah, they said, as with any difficult decision, whilst you can't change the past, it's important to put measures in place that can deliver positive outcomes both in the present and into the future. The club and the NRL will be committed to working with Todd, his family, and his management in implementing appropriate counseling and support with the start of this process to begin tonight. One of Carney's friends, a guy named Mick Robinson, another Mick. It's the other one was not.
They're going to be everywhere.
They're all the same thing. Yeah. He admitted taking the photograph in the toilet here at Northies, which is a nightclub there, and he told the TV station, quote, the urine never actually went into his mouth, which I don't believe, because then it would not be a bubbler.
Yeah,
it would just be.
The other answer is that it never went into his mouth. That means it's all over his fucking face.
He said he was doing like a, hey, look at me, but it's not, because they do this. His agent comes out now, Todd. Now imagine you want to be an agent. This guy probably went to law school.
Yeah.
These guys imagine if Oren, our agent, you lucky motherfucker. You never have to come out and defend us for drinking our own urine in public. How great is that?
Yeah.
Jesus. Todd, he says, his agent says, did not in fact drink his own urine. He says, quote, it's a setup.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Like when people stand in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. He says that his client posed for the picture, but he never intended it to be made public. Probably not. He said, quote, Todd paid a very, very heavy price for a photo that he didn't want out there or upload himself. It was supposed to be kept between mates.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. This is insane. Apparently, there was a 2-hour crisis meeting among the team and telling them that he's being sacked. And, here's a picture of him pissing in his mouth. The team planned a 9 a.m. practice session, but it was canceled because the players were, quote, not in the right headspace. Todd pissed in his mouth. I can't kick that ball around and tackle other white guys. No way.
It was too goddamn hilarious. I can't stop
I'm still
laughing.
My ribs hurt. My ribs hurt. I'm going to take a break for the rest of the day. He says, the agent says that Carney is feeling betrayed after being dismissed by the Sharks. They asked, when asked to confirm that it was one of Carney's friends who released the photo, the agent said, quote, I use that word loosely. He said, the person who took the photo contacted me this morning by text and said, my phone got lost. Supposedly that's how the photo got out. It was meant to be a joke. So he says they shouldn't have sacked him. It was too quick. He said, quote, he's now got a photo of himself that's gone worldwide, and it's not a very pleasant in a not very pleasant setting that's going to be on the net for his family and everyone to see for future generations. That in itself is a very big price to pay. He also denies reports that he committed breaches of contract before that. He says, quote, there's been no serious allegations that I'm aware of that have come across my desk in writing. In other words, I've heard some shit, but there's been no formal police complaints.
Yeah.
Literally in writing, he put on there. You didn't need to qualify in writing unless...
I've got no complaints. In writing.
Yeah, he said literally nothing has come across my desk in writing at all. Nothing. There's been no complaints. Not official
a one spelled out.
We've all heard things. He says, quote, I get 1,000 emails every time Todd steps out.
Yeah.
He says that there's a legal challenge that's unlikely to happen. He doesn't know if that's going to happen. We don't know here. Now, reactions, this is fucking funny. Some legendary rugby player, Andrew Johns, he told Channel 9 that Carney should not be sacked for the latest incident. He said, quote, surely they couldn't sack him for that. It's silly. It's stupid, but he's only doing it to himself. He's pissing on himself. It's not R. Kelly. It's not R. Kelly. We're not going to... Is that girl he's peeing on? Because he was definitely peeing on somebody back in that video. Is she 14 or 18, the girl he's... That's not what we're discussing here.
He literally said he brought this upon himself.
He brought this upon himself.
He's peeing on himself.
He brought pee upon himself.
Unbelievable.
Unreal. So, now this is broadcaster here, this guy named Ray Hadley, who apparently does not like illicit behavior of any kind. This guy, Ray Hadley, says, quote, it's obscene, it's deviant behavior, it's depraved. And then he went to the Footloose town to stop teenagers from dancing. He said it's deviant, it's depraved, it's a level of depravity that I don't think I've ever seen before. Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah.
People have gone to war, dude. Way worse shit happens.
You've never seen anybody get peed on before? Don't you have the internet?
That's what I mean.
It's 2012?
Fuck. I'm told by the young blokes I know that the imbeciles who partake in this, and they're in the vast minority, usually undertake it when they're involved in taking drugs. So he's saying there's this big thing where people get high and piss in their mouths. That's like this. He sounded like a 90-year-old woman. I read an article where people are smoking the cocaine and peeing into their own mouths. I saw it. You're not taking the cocaine, are you?
I saw a video about bath salts.
I saw it. You take baths. Did you do something? Sorry, once my grandmother found my cousin Gilda went to stay with my Aunt Lisa, and she smoked weed. She was like 16. My grandmother found her weed pipe. It's like a metal old weed pipe. And my grandmother freaked out, dragged them both in there, and accused them of smoking the cocaine. So, which was fucking amazing. So anyway, vast minority. They're all taking drugs. He says, quote, now Todd Carney hasn't been convicted anywhere of taking drugs, but if he wasn't on drugs, the bloke's stark raving mad. And if he was on drugs, he's even more stark raving mad. So he just said, either way, fucking gone. He says that this Hadley says he received emails every day claiming that Todd Carney hangs around with drug dealers and that he hangs around with bad people. Mm-hmm. Hadley then says, quote, I'm glad he's out of the game. I hope I never see him on a rugby league field again.
He's disgusted.
Give it a couple minutes and we'll get back to Hadley and we'll talk about a little thing that he had. We'll talk about that.
Right.
It's fun. I love hypocrisy. You know that.
Guy with a piss face.
I love hypocrisy.
Right.
No, that was the Hadley.
That's what I'm saying. A guy with a piss face is disgusting, but we'll get back to it.
We'll get back to it. So, July 2nd, 2014, this is a couple days later, a story comes out that police in New Zealand arrested an Australian man, not a rugby player, in a resort party town of Queenstown for urinating in his own mouth. This is a thing. An Australian guy in New Zealand, they report there's a 25-year-old Australian was grabbed by, because he did it in a downtown area. At least Carney was in the fucking urinal. He was in the bathroom at least, at 1:50 a.m. on a Sunday 2 weeks ago. And now this is becoming a story. He said, the constable in New Zealand said, quote, "I don't know how he achieved that. It doesn't say it on the file. It says he was arrested for offensive behavior for urinating onto a shop window and into his own mouth."
On to a shop
and
window.
Then into his mouth.
Wow.
He was just whipping it all around like a sword, I feel.
Right.
He was just doing some lightsaber work with it.
He's not like bouncing it off the glass.
I think he was just swinging it. Piss over there, piss over here, a little in the mouth. You know what? I'm thirsty. So, this is fucking weird. So Vice does a little thing about bubbling.
Yeah.
This is apparently a thing, this fucking bubbling thing. Now you know about this now?
No.
Okay. I'm like, do you know that I don't? Why have you told me this? I was going to be so mad at you for not telling me this. No. I'm like, wait a second. You knew about this? You didn't tell me this?
No.
It's going to be mad. Apparently it's called bubbling. And, there was a skater that talked to them, Vice. He lives in Europe, this guy, and he said that bubbling originated in Australia, and he says that he brought it to Europe so they passed it along to the other skaters. They said, "How did bubbling start? And just how big is it in Australia?" And this guy said, "It's huge in Australia. It's part of our everyday life." I think this is a joke.
Okay.
He says, "My dad actually taught me how to do it when I was a kid." So I feel like he's like, in Australia, we just piss in our own mouths. He's just crazy. But everyone who does piss happens to be Australian. So it's kind of funny is why he said it. So he said, "I was on tour in Australia and this other skater asked me if I would drink my own piss for $136.
So what?
So
$136?
Yeah.
That's an awfully.
This is probably just how much cash?
Yeah,
do we
what's
have?
everybody got?
Yeah.
Pull it together.
We
got 136.
What do you got?
Can you hit it?
And 50 cents. So he said on tour in Austria, not Australia. Yeah. And a guy asked him if he would drink his own piss for $136. So I explained that it's common practice in Oz, and I did it right there and then. And then later again by some lake in Italy. It took this guy a few days to master the art, though, because he had a weak flow. She had a weak flow, this other guy.
That's
but
disgusting.
Carney's flow, strong as can be. So now he's got nowhere to go, nowhere to fucking be, no fucking job, shit-faced drunk,
pissing in his own mouth,
banned from his hometown. Everything's he literally all he can do is fucking sit home because if he goes out, people are just snapping pictures of him, waiting for him to start pissing his mouth, waiting for him to start pissing in his mouth. Like he has no. The world has turned into his a magnifying glass for this guy. He can't fucking do anything, so he stays home and he says, "You know what? I'm going to get domesticated a little bit."
Okay.
Because all I do is drink and go out. I'm going to get domesticated a little bit. I'm going to fucking try to at least make a home life for myself. And he does that. And the man he hires comes over and knocks on the door.
Yeah.
And it's Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City, Jimmie. And he says... How is it you've come to arrive here? Seriously. Yeah. Oh my fucking God. White trash. You are white trash. I'm sorry. Look, okay, let's start at the, I don't care about phone zones and windows and going out drinking with your friends. You're 20 years old. It's understandable. I get it. But you peed in your own mouth.
Yeah.
And like nobody was like jerking off in the corner, like into it. You weren't like being paid to do this by like like a nefarious Eastern European man. You know, the type that gives you money to pee in your mouth. You know, that type of type. I've never met anyone like that, but I'm just saying it happens. I've heard things from people. So I've heard things. But yes, you're white trash, sir. And I'm sorry you stay in your house because just no. Poof, and in a puff of glitter and feathers and boa, he's gone. And Todd is left to sit in his living room wondering exactly how drunk he is and if he actually just saw that. So he has to try to make up for this because it's just weird. So he writes an open letter to the fans that's published, and it's fucking hilarious. Okay. Open letter, guys. Open letters from Todd Carney. The purpose of this letter is to clarify some things to the fans of Canberra Raiders, rugby league fans, and the public in general. I feel I need to tell my side of the story regarding an incident at the Canberra pub on Sunday, July 20th, after our win over the Roosters. Jesus. It has been well documented that I was drunk and that an incident did occur in the toilets.
Ugh.
I am extremely sorry for the incident which occurred. However, you should never have an incident in the toilets, ever.
And you should not say the incident. You should just say, I pissed in my own face.
You all saw it.
I'm sorry I pissed in my own face. Keep saying I pissed in my own face, and maybe we'll agree that you feel sorry.
We'll all make fun of me, and that'll... He said, I'm extremely sorry for the incident which occurred. However, I believe the details of that night have not been reported accurately. I was not running around, as some of you would believe, urinating on patrons in the bar. The person involved was drinking in our group, and whilst yahooing in the toilets, things got out of hand. Whilst yahooing?
Yeah.
Wow. The line between good fun and inappropriate behavior was crossed. It's not my intention to degrade or offend anyone. I have apologized to the fellow concerned. I'm regretful of the incident and the ensuing media circus, and am embarrassed at the unwanted focus on myself and the club. Since this, I feel that, quote, every man and his dog has a Todd Carney story. It says everybody knows. My primary school sweetheart has emailed the club and the media about the time I pulled her piggy tails. Not really, but it feels like an old-fashioned witch hunt. Look, I'm not an angel, far from it. I'm a 22-year-old. Jesus, he's fucked up a lot. I love my footy and having a good time. I am the first to admit I have had some issues off the field. Just Google me. I'm also very aware I've had some problems with drinking alcohol. I did not have an alcohol problem I do not have an alcohol problem in needing to drink all the time or anything like that. More of a problem with not handling myself in a proper manner on occasion when I'm on the drink.
Yeah.
In other words,
I can't handle my own booze.
You can't stop.
Right.
You can't say, "Ooh, I've had 5, I'm good."
Right.
You have to go, "I need 30," and then I'm gonna go fucking crazy.
Piss in my own face.
And then I'll piss in my own face and show everybody. Wow. He says, furthermore, whilst there have been things that there have been some things I'm not proud of, I don't get around barking at women or deliberately trying to antagonize people, contrary to some media reports. I also try to do my bit with promos, autographs, and appearances in the community. In regard to the Canberra Raiders, I love the club. I played with them since I was 12 years old and really knocked back a number of big money deals from other NRL clubs and overseas to sign a 4-year deal with them. However, I must say I'm disappointed with the way this incident has been handled. I've read reports about my teammates having input into my punishment, and I've not even been given the opportunity to address them or the coaching staff on my issues. I was not present or invited to discuss the allegations with the board. I was just handed a punishment through my manager. If my actions have caused hurt or embarrassment to my fans, family, and friends, as well as the club, I am truly sorry. Todd Carney. But it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
But I'm sorry. You know how it goes.
Right.
So, 2015.
Who the fuck is Dexter Manley?
Yeah. And by the way, anybody on this guy?
Anybody got this?
Anybody like a Yelp reference? Like I said I needed like furniture. He was going to do my wall stuff, curtains and shit on the window treatments.
Yeah.
But I don't know, dude. He just came over and yelled at me and left. Super weird. So, broadcaster Ray Hadley, who said, the worst. Hadley's son, who is a police officer, gets busted for drugs.
Yeah.
It's Daniel Hadley's his son. He was former police officer of the year winner. And he was arrested for buying 0.79 grams of cocaine, about $200 at a Sydney $200 worth at a Sydney pub car park on a Friday night. The senior constable Daniel Hadley was caught in possession of this, and where is it here? He was admitted to a mental health clinic after being granted bail. Hadley appeared at a tearful press conference. This is the father noting a broadcaster here saying that he admitted to feeling inadequate as a father for failing to notice his son's mental health problems, or for the coke around his nose is what you failed to fucking notice. The coke in his mustache, in his cop mustache. He returned and said that, he thanked everybody for wishing him well. And Carney says, up.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Ray.
Yeah.
Back the fuck up. He says to this guy, he says about Ray Hadley, question, would Ray Hadley have had the same sympathy if it was an NRL player in the same situation? Yes, no. Yeah. Sounds like probably not, I would say. Or would he rule and ridicule the player like he was a criminal, is what he said. And he said, wow, this is amazing. One set of rules for the shock jocks and another set for everyone else as well. Bet he never pissed in his mouth, though. That's what he said. So he can do all the drugs he wants, but...
Listen, he didn't. He's a cop that bought coke. He wasn't pissing in his own face.
Yeah, like, I mean, God, he's just a corrupt cop. Not like he pissed on himself in a bathroom. I mean,
Right.
So yeah, so this is a big deal because Hadley apparently Carney's not the first one that Hadley goes after. Anytime a rugby player has an incident, he's like, "How dare they? And they should be banned from the
So
league."
moral.
They're Skip Bayless asshole is what they are.
Yeah.
He's their Skip Bayless, and Skip Bayless's kid got busted, and they said, "Hey, Skippy, let's talk about it, fuckhead.
Yeah.
You frosty-haired dildo." So, yeah, 2015-16, he goes and plays for the Catalans Dragons. So this is at the end of 2014. After the whole piss incident, he just moves to France, where pissing on people is considered, it's considered polite.
That's how you greet them.
It's considered polite behavior there.
You hand them a baguette, a cigarette, and you piss in their face.
That's what you do. You piss right on them, and you go, "You like that?
Yeah.
No? Good." That's what I was hoping for. Didn't want you to like it. So, he's in his second game for the Dragons, he suffers broken ribs during a tackle by a former teammate. And the game ended in a tie anyway, so it didn't even matter. Now, October 2015, Todd sues the Sharks for almost $3 million.
Really?
For the remainder of his contract. And it goes nowhere. 2016... rugby players are still drunks, even though he's not in the league.
Right.
They're still drunks. Pictures of Bulldogs players vomiting, passed out, and naked at a pub were splashed across the news in Sydney. This is the national rugby team fined Australia $250,000, and 2 players were charged by the police with this.
Yeah.
God, how shit-faced do you have to be? Charged with they were naked in public. I guess that'll do it. The Bulldogs also fined these players a whole bunch of money, and they said the club accepts that the images and behavior from the team get together on Monday were unacceptable and a bad look for the game. I would say so. Jesus Christ. They were charged, 2 men, with willful and obscene conduct and will appear in court on October 24th. This is known as Mad Monday. It's the annual parties for the rugby league teams after their last game of the year. So they have a giant blowout after the last game, and that's when they get naked in public and throw up all over each other and piss in their own mouths, I guess. I don't fucking know how that works.
Sounds like a party.
Apparently, one of the players for the Bulldogs stripped naked on the balcony of the pub in view of the public, and another stripped and grabbed his genitals as he danced around. So he was swinging his dick around as he was dancing, which is always fun.
He's Lars Ulrich.
Always a good time. Yeah. Everyone does that. And the NRL head, Todd Greenberg, said their behavior was embarrassing. Embarrassing. They said the club organized the event and failed to implement the most basic of measures to ensure it was conducted in an appropriate way. I think it was appropriate for them. They enjoyed it. So, Jesus Christ. One of these people who was involved in this was a guy named, this is amazing, Mitchell Pearce, who was caught on camera in 2016, staggering drunk. This is one of those Mad Monday incidents.
Hell yeah.
Staggering around drunk, launching into, this is amazing, quote, an expletive-laden rant about wanting to commit a sex act on a dog.
Oh, my God.
I want to fuck a dog. That dog's cute. Wagging, he wagged that. I'm going to fuck it. If he's fucking wagging and he just wants me to put it in his pooper, man. He's like, look, it's right here. I'm going to fuck that dog today.
Was he talking about a dog, or was he talking about a woman who he deems as a dog?
You know what I mean?
My question back in that bar back there.
The
bitch was a dog. I'd have fucked her anyway.
I'd have done it, but it would have been gross. My thing is, was he talking about it's just I want to really fuck a dog right now, or was he looking at it like I want to fuck that dog?
Right.
Was there a dog there that he was particularly sweet on, or was there just
throwing out like slang terms for sex?
Yeah.
I want to Spider-Man that dog.
I give it a good one.
I'm a donkey puncher dog. I swear to God, I will. Was
he honed in on a specific? Because that's worse. I feel like if he wanted to fuck that dog rather than just I feel like fucking a dog tonight. So that guy was suspended for 8 games and fined $125,000 for wanting to fuck a dog. Wow,
amazing.
So 2016 in December, Todd Carney now comes out and says he's willing to accept any conditions in order to have one last crack at the NRL. Anybody else. By the way, he's all set for a celebrity boxing match, a charity boxing match against the retired NRL guy Chris Sandow, who got arrested for fighting in pubs all the time.
Awesome.
So he's that guy here. So also Sandow is also a mess here in the leagues. There, he's kicked out of this one and run away from that one. He says, quote, Karn says, if the NRL turns around and says I have to do X, Y, and Z, I'm happy to accept whatever they want me to do to pull another NRL jumper and give it one more crack. If a club's willing to sign me and put regulations on whatever the NRL wants to put forward, I'll put my hand up and say yes. And if it's a strict policy, I'm fine with that. Okay. Now he's okay not drinking, but before... No. Right. Both of these guys are going to box for the first time, by the way. He said that he'd only look at boxing for a charity event. And I saw the boxing match, and it was pretty sad. Yeah. And it was a draw.
Oh, boy.
A decision draw. They're just like, you're both terrible. Yay. And the crowd looked very disappointed in everything that was going on.
Even that Tanya Harding in her boxing match did all right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, she gave an effort. There was a winner. I think it was her.
I think she did win, which she seems mean.
Yeah, she seems
I would say.
See, I didn't even bother to piss on the guy.
Yeah, he just kind of pissed on. I mean, what the fuck?
He got a super trick.
So, this guy here, Carney said that he could never even recall throwing a punch in a rugby league game, while Sandow remembers punching a lot of people. So it's a draw. It's pretty fucking lame. I mean, it's sad. Dude, you should, when you watch the crowd watch it, you're just watching like the draw. You see people like, oh, at least we'll get a decision, and then they raise both their hands, majority draw, and you just see people go, and just deflate. You just feel bad for people who left the house and paid money and bought a ticket. Even though it's for charity, you still want something if you left the house. I don't care about the money for the ticket. I'll just give that to charity. But I had to leave my house to fucking come here. That's a different story. Yeah. Now you have to entertain me for that shit. You could have just had my money. I mean, I feel bad for all those people. I feel bad for guys who have to bash their heads into each other their whole career, and now they have to box to stay relevant. I feel bad for them, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Todd Carney, JD candidate at Harvard Law School in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Not bad. Todd Carney, senior software engineer at General Dynamics in Scottsdale, Arizona. Sorry, Todd. We could run into that guy. Todd Carney, senior bond trader at Sierra Pacific Securities. People trust him with their future. He does not piss in his own mouth, at least on film. Maybe privately.
The guy up there at Harvard probably did to get into a frat.
Oh, he did, yeah. But they didn't take any pictures of it. Todd Carney, post-production supervisor at Prometheus Entertainment in California there. And finally, the most unlikely, Todd Carney, licensed mental health practitioner at New Horizons of the Treasure Coast in Fort Pierce, Florida. Come on. That's fucking beautiful, man. So, 2017 here, Carney plays for the Salford Red Devils. The signing was announced. They said Todd will be a vital part of our jigsaw and is a real statement of our intent. He's a world-class player and match winner. We're delighted to get his signature and are greatly looking forward to the arrival. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, he said it's a quality signing. This is fucking terrific. They said, he's excited to come across and perform for the club. I told Todd what Salford was about these days. No ego, no favoritism shown, and we didn't want people who would damage our team or what we're all about. I told him we were interested in signing him if he wanted to buy into our team ethos and prove to the boys that he wanted to play for the Salford Red Devils.
And
Todd was very open with us about past demeanors and wanted us to focus on getting his rugby career back on path. We believe if we can get him fully fit and running at teams, he will be a great asset for us to put in the competition. So they think that he signs the end of the year. He signs a contract with Queensland's Queensland Cup side of Northern Pride. I don't know what the fuck
Sounds
that
right.
means. He's Northern Pride he plays for. In his first game in Australia in 4 years, he finally plays in February of 2018. But he ends up not getting it back into the NRL. He wants to be in there, but he doesn't. Now, 2018 of March, there's a show called Married at First Sight.
Yeah.
I think they have it here too.
Stupid.
One of those stupid shows.
It's fucking dumb.
Where there's a guy and they're trying to pick people. And apparently, there's one of these couples on there. There was one of these ladies named Susie Bradley who, while she's on this show, is also seen making out with Todd Carney and photographed and shared all over the place.
Oh, no.
So the pictures were taken on right after Valentine's Day, and the guy on the show, Billy, was pissed.
Was he mad?
He was shocked and humiliated.
Like, I kissed that woman. She kisses that piss mouth?
Well, he pretty much says that. He says, quote, "What can I say? That's a really hard one for me. I have mixed feelings about that." He says, "You can really see Susie's judge of character by the people she hangs around with. I treated her with respect. I look at the TV and go, why were you such a gentleman to her?" He says, quote, "Dead eyes, just a waste, just a real waste, a waste of energy. She has gotten everything that she wanted out of this experience. She got the idiot football player, she got the fame, and she got the Instagram likes out of it." Then he dropped the mic and fucking walked away. He said, quote, "She loves the infamy. She's so resilient to all the negative press that she gets, and she's loving it." She then went on to say things will come out in the future because she says that Susie and Todd Carney have been dating for much longer.
Wow.
And it's been hidden so she could be on this show. She says, quote, "Just say Carney goes back a bit further than they were dating longer than the media says." So April of 2018, the next month, he's officially with that chick. Now it's official with this. They confirmed their relationship. She was gushing on Instagram, declaring her love in an Instagram post. She wrote, "You are the most beautiful, understanding, and patient man I've ever known." That's what she wrote on the Instagram.
All right.
That's that there. So May 3rd, 2018, he says again, reiterates that he wants to come back to the NRL. He says he insists that the game's bosses would see he's a changed man if only they give him a chance and keep out of the bathroom. He says that it's put him a bit closer to a comeback. He said, but he says, quote, "That's one of the big reasons why I want to come back and play, not to be remembered for the so-called bubbler. I don't want to be the bubbler guy." Well, you are. Even if you played another 20 years, you're still that Hall of Fame guy who pissed in his mouth that time. He says, "For them, the bosses, to sit there in front of me and let me explain what happened in the past 4 years and where I'm at, I'm pretty sure they would see it's a different Todd. Different Todd. I am good now.
Yeah.
Don't you fucking hear me? I'm good now. Jesus Christ." He believes he can still match up in the NRL. He says, "I'm not going to blame anything I did on being young. I was stupid. I think I've become a better player, a smarter player. I definitely think I can still handle the NRL." Okay. So he plays for, after this, 2018, the North Queensland Cowboys, which sounds like a gay porn series. North Queensland Cowboys, part 6. It really does here. That is disturbing. It just sounds really, So they talks about playing there. Townsville, this town, held a town meeting with the team's coaching staff, local journalists, and police to discuss the possibility of signing him. If they have to have a whole town meeting about you, with they have the librarian there. What's your opinion on Todd? Well, I don't want him pissing in the library. So, they have all that. And they said that he's alluded to his hunger to return, and he wants to do this. So the mayor, this is a fucking woman who runs a city. Yeah. I love this woman. Mayor Jenny Hill says, quote, "You know how it works up. We are like New York City. We take in the battered and the distressed. We feed them. We nurture them. We win fucking premierships." That's what the mayor said. She compared this place to New York City and then said the F word. What a great lady. I love this lady. Then she says, "We will look after this boy. And that all comes down to whether or not you people, journalists and police, are willing to turn a blind eye when we tell you to. Do you want to see the finals dash this year?" She's got a sense of humor, this broad.
Yeah.
She's like, you'll let him go out and run amok.
Does she do crack or anything? Like, she sounds like Rob Ford.
That's what she sounds like.
Rob Ford came out and was like, and
crazy.
That lady that said I wanted to eat her pussy. No, I got enough to eat at home.
Yeah, that's
what she's doing.
We win fucking premiership. She said, "I don't care Wow.
That's amazing.
I guess so. But by May 2nd, he left the Cowboys to return to Sydney for family reasons because he's not allowed his hometown. Right. Then 2018, he plays for the North Sydney Bears, which is definitely a gay porn series. Without a doubt, we've discussed that. He signs a deal there. The other team, the Northern team, was demanding $150,000 for compensation and relocation costs from somebody. Their chief executive said, Carney doesn't owe us money, but we want compensation. We paid him an amount to relocate here, and we want that refunded. Once they pay, we'll clear him. So they're not releasing his contract for another team until that's paid to them. Naturally, we're chasing a number of people, and when Todd agreed, we concentrated on him, thinking he would be here long term. I've spoken to his manager, so that's where things are at now. So this is blocked, and Carney refuses. Then they said, how about $15,000? And he said, no. So they went, all right, fuck off then. I'm not going to release you. This guy just doesn't listen. I'll drink and I won't sign shit, and I'll do what I want. So he signed a short-term contract at Hull Kingston Rovers, which is an English rugby league, to play for Hull there until the end of 2018. November 1st, 2018, he decides that he has shelved his plans to return to the NRL and signed up to be the captain coach of the Byron Bay Red Devils. So he's going to be the captain coach. They said they were looking forward to welcoming him to the North Coast. We've been in talks with Todd on and off for a few months. We've known each other for a while now, and I'd suggested to him when he was finished with the NRL, he should come to Byron Bay. It's lucky that the Devils are based in Byron. It's a good draw card. This is life after football, and I think it's a great thing for our club. He's also playing, so I don't know about that. So he's doing that. He says that the team's leader, the guy who runs it, the fucking president, said, yes, he's had ups and downs, and there have been some issues for him in the past, but he's a good bloke, and his heart's in the right place. To have someone of his caliber is a huge boost. It's massive news for us. He came in and inspected the grounds and was impressed. We've done a lot of work recently. We've painted the clubhouse. We have new amenities and a new electronic scoreboard and upside down urinals. He's going to love it here. Fucking perfect. So that's what he's doing apparently as of now, is player managing the Red Devils. And I don't know.
That's what he's doing today?
I guess so. Yeah, that was as of late 2018, early 2019. So that's what he's doing. That's Todd Carney. That's Australia.
What a mouth pisser.
Where people piss in each other's mouths, or their own mouths, to celebrate.
It is upside down.
Not as a punishment.
It is upside down.
That's true. Yeah. So maybe it's a lot easier to do
Australia is the upside down.
It's the upside down, where people piss in their mouths instead of there. That would be the only thing scarier about there, I think.
Your piss goes up?
If about the upside down.
Yeah.
It's like they're exploring all the kids, like season fucking 2. They're in the tunnels there, and they're like, are the Demogorgons pissing in their own mouths? All right, I'm leaving. I was fine to fight these fucking things. Right. We're going to set them all on fire, but 11's on her own with the gate. I can't deal with this shit. They're pissing in it. This is gross. So that's Todd Carney, and that's rugby that we know nothing about. And I hope you enjoyed that. I did. Yeah, I did. I thought he was. We've never had that before.
Pretty nuts.
If you did enjoy it, I know how you can tell us about it. You can head over to Apple Podcasts, the purple icon. You can give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not for our ego. It's really just for business purposes. So please do that. And any other platform you listen on, if they allow you to review, give us a damn review. It helps drive shit, and people can find the show, and hopefully then they will listen to it, which is the goal here. Also, go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Lots of stuff there. T-shirts, all new stuff is up. Tickets to live shows. I don't know if the live show is sold out.
It's
not
close.
Sure. It's going to be very, very close, so I would definitely get your tickets immediately to that if you want to go, because if you're saying, I'm going to wait a couple weeks, the tickets won't be there. Let's see. I have the number right in front of me,
40.
actually.
Actually, it's just over 40.
So, yeah.
Almost gone.
That's gone, basically. It's 40 tickets, so that's get your tickets immediately. They'll probably be gone tomorrow. So do that, and come see all the damn live shows that you can. Follow us on social media. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. while you're on the site there too, you can find all of that, social media and everything. You can also find how to donate to us and be one of our producers who we're just about to talk about how wonderful they are and how much we love them. You can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or heading over to PayPal and using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Like I said, both of those can be reached right from shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
Without further ado, Jimmy, I need it. It cheers me up. It makes me feel good all over. Hit me with that list like a stream of piss.
This week's executive producers are The Charlie Project and Megan Good. She puts together like a database.
Yeah.
It's like the second largest database.
I've seen her.
Of missing people.
Really good.
For you, Megan.
Good stuff.
James Lucchese, Carrie Clark, Silky Jensen. She told me how to pronounce that, and that's not it.
Silky Jensen sounds like a Dave Chappelle character at the Player Haters Ball. Silky Jensen. Hate.
Mike Eklund, Rick Sikorsky, Lisa Jensen, Samantha Landis, Andrew Cordovas, Brendan Clohesi, and Christine Lally. I think it's Lally. It might be Callie. God damn it. How do I do that every week?
I don't know. Should wear underwear with dick holes in them. That's the best line. Not the person you just said. Silky Jensen would have said that about Rosie
Thank you
O'Donnell.
guys so much for everything you do. Other producers this week are Neil Campbell, happy birthday, Ashley Lunsford, Tanya Ramesh, again, I'm an asshole, Ann Ferry, Caitlin Freilich, Cindy Elliott, Morgan Haynes Mannion, yes, Carolyn Jackson, Lalama, that's a hyphenated name, I think. Carolyn Jackson Lalama, Lily Frank, Michael Nutt, Nicole Rivas, Jill Knapp, Joshua Doyle, Jeff Huber, Alexandra Feliciano, Sarah Wetmore, Laura Michelli, Dustin Say, Danny Furlon, Travis Schaefer, Jura Freeman, Arta Cialava, Casey Handel, Hallie Franks, David DeBlaker, Stephanie May, Jessica Gonzalez, Jade Winarski. Winnie,
you had to turn the key a couple times on that. There we go. Turned it over.
Allie Madden, Tiffany Summers, Rachel Tanner, Lauren Moore, Snoop and Bald Eagle, Olivia Herman, Jake Elliott, Stephanie Dupois, Susan Duquette, Austin Nearing, Heather Elizabeth, Mike Singer, Jessica Stewart, Megan with no last name, Elisa Arsenault, Melissa Small, Nancy Ehlers, Aoife Leakey, yes, Maggie Smith, Emily Eldridge, Carrie Hobson, Jessica with no last name, Adrian Perry, Tyler Sheldon, Eric Hero. Hero or hero?
You're a goddamn hero to us.
Yeah. Aaron Parker, Tyler Sheldon, Eric, I said that, Annie R., Rhiannon Garrett, Ryan Milligan, Danielle Hansen, Joe Cassidy, Justin Hinkle, Paul Landis, Victoria Eves, Katie Vance, Ann Campbell, Zoe Bednasak, I think so.
Sure.
I don't know, Bednasak. It's
Bednasak.
Tara, no last name, Jeremy Compton, Tanya Albone, Tommy Aguilar, Nicola Master Antonio. That's what that is. Yeah, like the chick from the 80s.
You like the 80s actress with with the big hair.
Right, from fucking Robin Hood, right? Yeah.
Hey, was she in Robin Hood?
I think so. Yeah, she was the love interest.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever. Lena Mason, Kristen Cessor.
It's a story of 16th century England where Kevin Costner goes out with a Spanish chick.
It's pretty rad. It's very edgy. Hillary Klinowski, Paul Weigel, Jeff Skyner, Dana Papalia, Megan with no last name, Rohit Sharma. I'm not going to fucking try to culture it up like I know what I'm talking about. Like I know how to, whatever that
Probably
is.
for the best.
Probably. Christy Corbeil, Cole Bressler, Patty Trifoni, Van Conies. Van Honea's conies? Oh, and something else, and I couldn't see what the rest of it was. I don't know what it is. I'm so sorry, Van. Kelly Trainer, Max with no last name, Mary Carmody Trotman, Lori Carmody, that's what that is, I think. Lori with no last name, Sarah Reichert, and the home stretch. Here we go. This is going to be a motherfucker. McKenna Farmer, Elizabeth Yarwood, Carrie Isaacson, Kyle Andrew Mooney, David Cohen, Jeff Thompson, Ayala Tiffenbrun. That's what it is. Margaret Brady, Total Axe. That's a place where you can go throw axes and shit. I think it's in Detroit.
Awesome.
It might just be in Michigan.
Sounds fun for some reason.
Yeah. Julie Hohen, Jordan Bennett, Dana Grayson. Dana, how are you, buddy? Boney Santa Maria. I don't know what that is. That right? It might be wrong.
Sure.
Benjamin Wilkinson, Catherine Parento, Natalie with no last name, Krista Walker, Philip Close, Thomas Smith, Gary Howard, Gabija Vicente, fucking Vaseline, no, Vasinate. Gabaji, I don't know what just happened. Sloan Tate, Justin Miller, Troy Lindsay, Christine Crew. Look, I'm just blasting through them at this point. I'm like, look, I'm going to look like an asshole. I'll just look like a real asshole.
Just plow through.
Adam Udani, Amanda Tucker, I think. No, yes. Christine Crew, Emily Richmond, Elizabeth Gamble, Callie Shinkunis. See, I can knock that one out.
No problem.
Melissa McCutcheon, Deborah Haley, Ashley Vio, Rachel Greco, Jenna Sinevive. Nope. But we'll see you in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Diane Durbin, Connie Snow, Taylor, Laura, Cara. Oh, that's Caracciolo.
Hey,
that's what that is.
Caracciolo. I like that one. Good name.
Did I say Jeff Connor? I did. Conover.
Well, you said it now.
Sonny Johansson, Brendan Abels, Jesse Hartman, Megan Wick, Dylan Jenkins, Caitlin Wilhelm, Jackie Sukup, Robin Anderson, Joe Weinberner, Jessica Moss, Allison Gorman, German, that's what that is, David Bernhardt, Sally Norris, Elizabeth Nitros, Nigros, that's what that is.
All right.
Yeah, Nigros. No. Oh, it's just Nigro. That's what it is. Oh. Because she said it's pronounced like nitro. Now every time I put a little T in there to try to remind me, and it never works. So Savannah Shahan, Lubinka Duzel, Liz Vasquez, Tyler Gwill, Emmanuel Christian, Stephen Rude, Mark Foster, Algina Huber, Peyton Meadows, over at Pele Medical Spa up in New Hampshire. My girl went and got her eyelashes done by the girl there. Anyway, she listens to the show, so thank you. And then all of our Patreon supporters, you guys really make a difference, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you, everybody, so much for everything that you do for us. We can't do this without you. That's
changed lives. Thank you.
Absolutely the truth on Crime and Sports. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us. We love you. And what if people wanted to do something for you, Jimmie? How could they find you to do that?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I appreciate everything you guys do for me. It's really it makes a difference. So thank you. Where can they find you?
Definitely, you can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name from the show description. That might make it a lot easier to work with. And do that. Follow us. Keep hanging out. Keep coming back week after damn week, because we're not going to stop going. We're going to keep showing up whether you do or not. So you might as well be here too. Makes it more fun. Until then, everybody, live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey. Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there.
and we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now, so get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.